Good weather coming up. Actually, it's 46 degrees outside, so a little cooler than I thought outside this morning. I said 60. I was way off, wasn't I? But glad to have you with us. Got plenty to talk about in the world of sports. One of the biggest weekends maybe in all of sports history. For about a 3 or 4 day span with everything that's going on over the next few days. You got NFL draft that takes 3 days. You got the Major League Baseball in full swing. NBA, we got a Game 7 coming up tonight. We'll talk about that a little bit. Hockey playoffs are in full swing. And then 2 events that don't happen all the time. The Kentucky Derby, first Saturday in May, is today, and the fight that a lot of people are talking about tonight. I don't even know what time it's supposed to be.
Starts at 9.
Starts at 9.
What fight are you talking about, though? I thought it was me and Jason or something getting ready to. I'm going to promote that for sure. Yeah.
The undercard tonight is Terry and Jason. Terry will be flying to Vegas shortly.
Man.
To get and Jason to get things. Jason may already be gone.
Yeah, he's already in training.
We've seen no sign of Mr. Barber this morning, so he may already be on his way out to Vegas just to get ready. Ringside seats were
for a lot of money.
Yeah, wasn't it over 100?
Well over 100.
Yeah, well over 100,000.
Yes,
I'm talking about
over
I'm talking
1,000.
I said that well over 100,000.
I was thinking daggum like close to $6,000. Yeah,
that's in the whole facility, right? But the ringside, one time I heard ringside face value was $13,000, and then once they all got bought up, they were of course selling for maybe over $100,000. What's your interest level of this fight on a scale of 1 to 10? I'm looking at you, Smoke. You can tell me a number.
I'd probably say about 4. I've never really been that much into boxing. I know it's a big fight, and you kind of hope to see that boxing gets back to what it was back of the days of Muhammad Ali and all that stuff, and even Mike Tyson. But boxing really hasn't been the same in the past 20 years, and now there's an alternate in UFC that's really been taken over.
Do you like it better?
Well, I don't pay attention to UFC that much, but it's more, it's faster paced, and I think UFC kind of panders to casual fans because they want to see faster pace. They probably don't want to see a slower pace, 16 rounds or whatnot. Of boxing being more of defensive and everything, but boxing needs a fight like this to be a classic. They don't need a quick 30-second or a lopsided victory. They need a really good fight, evenly matched. That's what they need tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, it's guaranteed to go less than 3 rounds because of the price it is on Showtime. So obviously, with all the money you're going to pay out to watch it, it's not going to last long. I'm glad to hear that. I want to kind of get that. I'm trying to get a couple on Kevin's age group next. Scale of 1 to 10, Kevin. What's your interest level in this fight tonight?
Me growing up, our age was Mike Tyson. Everything was just nothing was better.
And that's heavyweights.
Nothing was better. Nothing was bigger. And I've never in my life actually watched a non-heavyweight fight. So these 130-pound guys slapping each other. I mean, these people couldn't even.
Hey, don't knock us.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Tell him, Terry.
They couldn't even play on the football field with us, and they're making $180 million slapping each other. So that I don't really get. I've never really got. The whole heavyweights. Most of the time they knocked each other out. They're not going. They ain't going 12 rounds. I like
either knockout or give out.
Right.
Run out of gas.
This 12 anything. I do not like sports with judges and decisions. If it's ice skating, whatever it is, at the end of the day, there's 3 guys over, or how many ever guys or judges over here saying, well, this guy won, this guy didn't. They're both standing there. I like it. I like things with the decisive winners. So,
with a real outcome.
So I can't really I'm interested a little bit. I'd like to see Floyd get beat. Just the undefeated thing. That's the only thing I'm interested in.
1 to 10.
The undefeated thing.
Interest.
Personally,
Smoke said a 4, which
6.
6.
Yeah.
Terry.
Mine's a little bit higher because, Mayweather, they've been wanting this fight for a long time. And when we speak, I go back to when Muhammad was fighting George Foreman and Lewis and people like that. And when he got beat by Leon Spinks, I remember that like that was yesterday. But I'm going at a 7 for one reason. Pacquiao is the only guy that I know that's out there right now can give Mayweather any kind of trouble. But now here's my deal. If it goes past round 5, Pacquiao's going to lose because I think Mayweather is the better fighter for long
And
distances.
Slash dancer.
Yeah,
gonna
well,
dance
that's
for
what I'm saying.
12
I think
rounds.
Pacquiao's got to get rid of him early,
Yeah,
and I think he'll try
I
that.
agree.
But if
That's
it
what everybody-
goes,
he's always fought that way. Is the way hell everybody talks. He's always been the aggressor. So
yeah.
that they're saying that he's the most aggressive in their weight class against the most defensive.
And you mentioned one thing that I agree with. I do not like it when you bring judges in on a sideline because we have seen that go the very opposite way in boxing in the
all
last few
sport,
years.
Yeah, any sport with judges.
Yeah,
Well, here's
and-
one thing I don't like about boxing. And I'm gonna give you my number in a minute because my interest level. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you my number right now. So we got a 4, we got a 6, we got a 7. I'm a little more interested in this one than I am a normal boxing match. So I'm all the way up at a 3. Okay, so that just tells you, how much I'm into it. Here's what I'll do tonight. When I think it's over, I'll look online or I'll look at Twitter and see who won. Now my son is watching it with some friends tonight.
See, boxing died with me when Tyson bit Holyfield's ear. It did. I was watching that and I don't know, he might even be listening. I remember Brian Kaiser's dorm room up at school, or it wasn't even not his dorm room, his apartment up at school. Was visiting the family and up at NC State. We went to a football game, and after we watched the fight, and I was a big Tyson fan. If you ever had the Nintendo game, I mean that thing was just people still play it now. They still have, I think they have a 10,000 tournament winner every year. I mean that thing is huge, and of course Tyson's a cult hero now. But when that happened, and then Evander retired, and then the only people left was Lennox Lewis and the Klitschko's, and now the only people left the Klitschko's, or one of them. So I mean, the heavyweights just started dwindling from that point down. And that's really when.
And so you lost me already with the names you're naming over there.
Yeah.
I'm so out of
Lennox
out of
Lewis,
the loop.
Evander Holyfield.
Well, I know those guys. But,
Well, I mean,
but
you go back to Ernie Holmes.
And here's another thing
different
about
people.
boxing now. How many titles do you have?
There's
There's
three
so
or
many,
four.
and
You
then they
guys
can
smoke.
strip it from
Right.
you if you just decide not to fight
all
somebody.
these different initials, and it used to be, one kind of governed the whole thing
Yeah.
if you had that title, but there's so many titles you can win, so
HBO
you can have-
Showtime had a big part of splitting that up.
yeah.
One thing
So
with
now
the
they
the
have-
they have a
lower
big part of
division,
boxing period now.
Yeah.
with welterweight and stuff like that, I do remember Thomas Hearns. I do remember Sugar Ray Leonard. I do Roberto Duran, all them guys that fought down then because it was a top level competition at that time.
And a lot of them fought in the Olympics, right?
Yes.
You saw that in the Olympics, right? See, so you really don't see it as post.
And that used to be a big draw.
Exactly.
People
Yes.
really wondered who won the Olympics.
Right.
I mean, people really kept up. And what was great about
Stevenson
those,
from what was
they
he
were
from
3
Cuba
rounds.
or somewhere?
Yeah.
They were 3 rounds. Somebody was going to win in a hurry. It got more aggressive right off the bat. But I don't know. I just have a hard time now today watching it and keeping up with it like I used to. And as we heard, as it goes down the road, Kevin is early 30s.
32.
Terry and I are in our 20s, so
I'm
different
21.
generation.
Yeah.
But Kevin's early 30s. He's at a 6. You go on down to Smoke, who's you 13 yet, Smoke?
17.
And he's at a 4, and I would say the most kids, boys, girls obviously no interest. I'd love to give them a little sports trivia. I gave it to my wife this
Well, I
week.
mean, most high schoolers are bigger than these two fighters. I mean,
and I'm just saying, boys his age
Yeah.
probably are lower than a 4 on their
I mean,
interest
if
level.
you're
Smoke's
in-
a big sports fan,
you're
so
in
he
high
follows a
school
lot
and
of
you think
sports.
you could whip either one of these two fighters. I mean, it's not as big a draw. If it was heavyweights, I'd probably might even be at an age or something because of an undefeated fighter at 39-0. I probably would be. But these lightweight guys, I just don't think it rings with the younger crowd. The younger crowd as it could or should to a lot of boxing aficionados.
Well,
Now,
here-
another
here's
thing, no
my
national
deal.
TV. No,
yeah,
I
no
mean,
national.
as
Oh
far
yeah, I
unless
mean
you
you're
pay,
paying
unless you pay the
$100. Yeah, to watch
You
it.
can't just walk in and flip on
No.
NBC,
No.
ABC,
Right.
CBS, or ESPN and get it. You got to pay.
Well, Kevin, what you're talking about, the small people, I think it's affecting every sport now because, football used to have all these giants and everything. Football, basketball, baseball, you're seeing a lot more smaller people these days. I just think it's in sports in general that you see smaller people in sports instead of the tall, muscular people that just are beasts and everything. I just think it's sports in general that is getting smaller with size.
Well, here's my deal. Name me. I mean, can you sit here and name me 3 heavyweights?
Current.
Name them one.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
Klitschko-
current.
Well, I heard
Klitschko's
that
the only one I can
whoever
name.
somebody did tell me this week that whoever the heavyweight champion is right now
Ain't he
holds all the
Klitschko?
titles.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Vladimir Klitschko.
Yeah,
Klitschko,
Klitschko,
okay.
yeah.
Now,
So
his
I do
brother-
know
his
him.
brother retired,
but the
right?
rest of them, No.
That's the name that Kevin stumped me
His
with. when he
brother's
said
still
that.
fighting.
So, is
I
he
thought
a-
his brother had retired.
Russian?
They're twin, or I don't know.
is he Russian?
Yeah,
I'm guessing.
or Ukrainian. One of them. So from over there.
Johnny's
but-
even telling me there was a fight this week. Might have been between him and an undefeated American.
Yeah.
And they couldn't fill up the arena.
Well,
Yeah.
he probably
So-
destroyed the guy. He's good.
Right.
That's what's sad about it. I'd love to
But
see
he's
him
a
fight.
big guy.
Yeah, he's
Yeah,
huge.
he's
I'd
huge.
love to see him fight against Lennox Lewis or Holyfield in their days. He'd have probably wore Tyson out. He was so much bigger than Tyson.
I think he'd have lost to Lennox.
Yeah.
To me, and I'm going to go back, and this is just me on my end, and I'm Muhammad Ali. He had his thing. Lennox Lewis to me is the best heavyweight that I have ever seen. And a lot of people say, "What can you say?" Yes, I can say
I'm
that.
gonna be one of them.
I mean,
I still like Rocky.
you know.
Well, I never saw.
Well, I never saw Rocky. You know.
I never saw. Only thing I've ever
Yes, you
seen
did.
about Ali and
1, 2,
Foreman,
3,
I've seen them online. I mean, seen old videos of them. So I mean, I couldn't say. From what I've seen, I wouldn't. If I had to pick any fighter, I mean, I'm going back to Tyson. If I'm going 5 rounds or whatever rounds it is, you know, if it's you got to knock somebody out to win. I'm picking Tyson, not if you're not judges.
He seemed the most dominant, and it seemed like he probably had more wins in less rounds.
Yeah,
than
but
any other
overall
fighter.
skilled, I
Overall
would go
skill,
Lennox.
yeah, and a lot of people would even go Evander too on that. He was,
I mean,
he's
I always
good.
wondered
He-
how.
Hard to beat Ali too.
Well, how did Ernie Holmes ever win a championship? I mean, you know, I always wondered that.
Yeah, every fighter's got his one guy or weakness, or just somebody that can any lucky punch can catch him. In talking about these guys, Floyd hasn't knocked a guy out since 1999.
Really? He's still undefeated, right? He is the
Oh, yes.
undefeated guy, but okay.
1999.
Not
So
many.
16 years. So that tells you how powerful this little smack fest is going to be.
Before we go on to another subject, I will ask your guys' opinion. All I've heard all week, and I mean, there's no way I'd bet on Pacquiao just from everything I've heard. Does
I'd
he
bet
have-
on Pacquiao. I always bet on underdog on that stuff.
Okay, I mean, I'm just wondering if he has a chance because everybody's saying
If he
Mayweather's-
does it in 5 rounds,
He's got a hit.
That's
the thing.
me.
People
The better
don't
guy.
hit. The thing with Floyd and the way everybody puts it, David, is that he just don't get hit.
yeah.
Pacquiao is the most aggressive fighter in that he hits people. So Floyd, he gets caught one time, he doesn't knock people out. He's gonna try to dance for 12 rounds, get his points. You know, smack Pacquiao on the side of the head a couple times here and there. I mean, that's his game, and
But no, am I not wrong? But to say
Yes,
that
you
Pacquiao, yeah,
to be honest with
it's
you.
been
it's been a while
what
since
2006,
yeah,
2008
knocked
since
somebody
he's
out
knocked
10
somebody
years,
out.
About 10, yeah.
Oh, really?
Either
So-
one of them.
So
So,
chances are this thing goes all, is it 12 or 15
I would
scheduled?
how many ever rounds it is.
Yeah, but if it does go all the rounds, I think Mayweather comes
Here's
out on
what I was
top.
going to tell you I
Gonna
didn't like
play
boxing.
pity pat.
I'd forgot what I was going to
12
mention that I
rounds.
didn't like about boxing. Why? If you know, is boxing not a thing about longevity and who's doing the best at the end? Because it's like an endurance fight, and if you go out here and fight in the street, it don't matter how you do in the first 30 seconds. It's
Who
how you-
finishes?
So why can you win the first 3 rounds? Let's say you win the first 7 or 8 rounds, and the next guy wins the next 7. I still like that guy that won the next 7. Because he's the man still standing strongest at the end.
That's why you got them judges over there writing them
Yeah.
cards.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I don't like it.
But people
Knock
that
him
win,
out.
People that win early
Knock
shouldn't
him out,
necessarily
John.
win the fight. If in today's game 7, if San Antonio goes up 20 in the first quarter and they still are behind when it's over, they don't win.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
I mean,
I'm the first one to tell you, I daggone went when my daughter was in band and color guard and all this stuff, and I couldn't judge them things at all. If I thought they did bad, they won it. If I thought they did no good,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you know,
you should be on Dancing with the Stars.
yeah, I had no clue of what to say.
Yep. I'm just not a fan of the judging sports.
Just reading here on ESPN, the best day of the year is what they're calling it, and a lot of people
Yeah.
are saying the best 4-day stretch in the history of sports with everything that's going on. Got the draft at noon today. The Capitals Rangers hockey game 2 at 12:30. Yankees Red Sox 1:35. That's Kevin's favorite.
You've already counted 3 things I don't care about. So you're 0 for 3 right now. Keep
You
going.
don't even care about the draft?
The third round? Who
Not-
can these teams?
not now.
Third's over.
Fourth round? These guys
Fourth.
ain't even going to make the team. So now we're just watching guys that practice squad
Tom
guys.
Brady said he could.
Well,
Rangers a 6.
one out of every now and then.
All right, how about the Kentucky Derby?
Who cares?
I do. I love the Kentucky Derby.
I like
my
to
interest
watch.
level is there.
But now here's my
out of 1 to
deal.
10 is an 11.
I'm not a guy going to sit there and watch it all
I was
day.
about to say you
Well,
can
I'm not
watch
watching
the
that.
3 hour. The
It's
phone
on
show.
now.
Are you watching that?
Yeah, I'm not doing all that.
It
I'm
just
gonna-
came on TV.
I might step in
So
there
you're interested
15
for
minutes
2
before the
minutes?
thing starts.
That's basically me. You start walking them up to the gate, and that's when I'll sit down. And
Yeah,
watch
it's
it.
me.
I'll have it on to make sure I don't miss it. Here it says 6:24. Now that's the time of the actual running, I guess.
Yes,
6:24.
when they
So it
release the
probably comes
gate.
on like you said around 3:00, something like that, 3 or 4 o'clock. Spurs Clippers Game 7.
That's
tonight at 8
big.
o'clock.
That's gonna be fun.
That's big.
Yeah, it's
Who do you guys like?
Spurs.
Spurs.
I
I
got
think
Spurs.
experience will
Hard
help.
to beat the Spurs.
Yeah.
The other night, the past few games, everybody's making the argument that the Clippers could be up 6-0, but
No, they couldn't. They only win 4.
well, I know that, but
I'll win that bet.
but the game the other night and the game before that, Blake and Paul have been extremely hot. I mean, they weren't missing anything. And I don't know if you can just keep doing that the way that. But the interesting thing is, these teams keep winning on the road.
I was just going to ask you.
The home court don't
Who
mean
won
nothing.
Game 4?
There's only been one home game.
Only
There's
one home
I
team
think-
won? Only
I
one
think
game?
so.
Wow. That's why I was trying to see how many in a row have been won by the road
It's
team.
awful.
I already know what he's going to try tonight. He's going to stick in some of them guys that sat over on that bench and have them run out there and fire Jordan. That you was telling me every time. Let that guy go to the free throw
Hackett
line.
Jordan.
Oh.
Yeah.
Did you
Yeah,
say they
plenty of
started the
guys
other
in.
night?
It's in the first
In the
half.
first half they
Well,
were doing it?
I think in Game 3,
Very odd.
DeAndre Jordan had to shoot 28 free throws from the line. Now, I don't think he may have made like about 17 to 28, but
Hey, that's pretty good for him.
yeah, that's pretty
I
good
mean,
for him.
that's-
Well,
Yeah.
That's
they did it. I was
successful.
watching one night. They did it twice.
successful.
The announcers start complaining about it. The next time down the court, they don't complain about it, and he dunks on everybody's head.
Yeah. Well,
So,
the other night
what do
they
you
was
do?
even
Foul
giving
him.
up. Parker was even getting fouls on him. Duncan got a foul because they intentionally fouled
I
him.
guess you better have plenty of bodies on the
I was going
bench
to say
to send in there.
they've got Bonner
The one
and
guy that,
Bain. They could just send them over there.
Yeah.
There's 12 fouls right there.
Shortcut.
I mean, just run
Go
them out.
get him.
I mean, if you can't, I just think it's a shame these guys get paid so much can't hit a free throw.
Yeah, that's terrible.
I mean, what
agree.
do you do all day? What do you do with your whole life besides be rich and count your money if you can't hit better?
By looking at some of the
50 or
forms, it look
40%?
like they don't practice it
It's
a lot.
it's
you
awful.
know.
It's embarrassing.
It's,
Once you get to that point,
Is he worst in the league, or do we know?
no, Rondo wasn't he?
Oh, Lord, a guard.
Rondo was like 33% or something.
There
He
you
was
go. There's a
awful.
good talk about. Dallas not even going to give him no money.
Will he find a landing spot?
Yeah, LA said they would for the right
the
price.
Lakers, the Lakers are probably going to try to go after him and Kevin Love this offseason.
Well, see, Lakers don't have a problem with him because he passes the ball.
Yeah.
Kobe loves that.
Yes, he does.
Throw him the ball, hey, come play with us. So
And somebody's going to pick him up because he's that good of a player. He's not going to be left out there with nobody picking him up.
he's gonna have to figure out how to shoot. He's too old to figure out how to shoot too. I mean,
He's not that old.
how old is he? I thought he was 30, wasn't he? Is he not? I don't know.
Which one we talking about now?
Rondo.
Still.
I don't know. Do you know, Evan?
We'll look him up here in a minute and just see. That's a good question. But there's plenty of stuff to talk about. We want to take a break right now. There's plenty we're going to talk about. We want to take a look at the NBA playoffs. We'll take a look at Major League Baseball and the
2007.
standings. Terry's very happy. Kevin's very happy with what their teams
Cream
are
has risen to the top, and
are-
it's not even made, Terry.
are doing right now. The cream will get settled.
Two best records in baseball.
Don't forget the Astros. How about the surprising Houston Astros?
Well, we don't
as
even
well
know who Houston is.
in the American.
I don't look anywhere lower than when I look at the standings. I look nowhere lower than first place in the NL Central. I didn't know there was.
That's what I've said
I
for
never
the
knew there was
last
other
2 years.
standings.
Yeah.
Houston, though, here's the deal with them about naming people. I don't know if I could name anybody on their roster, but they are doing very well up until this point. Jason comes in dressed for TV this morning.
Yeah.
Yes, he did.
Take a time out. Back with more sports talk in a moment.
Wasn't turning round.
All right, over here with it. Easy there. Great.
Rates are low today. The time is right to improve your home. We have home improvement loans and we're lending right now. Join your neighbors and friends and people all over our local communities who are improving the quality of their lives by improving the quality of their homes. We're an equal housing lender.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community-minded just like you.
Hi, I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join me this Saturday, May 2nd, for the big May celebration event at Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. Campers Inn is the winner of the Top 5 Blue Ribbon Dealer Award. It's basically the who's who of the best RV dealers in the United States and Canada. The award is based on employee relations, technician training, charitable giving, and a high priority on customer care. Come to Campers Inn and see why. We'll be there with free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Plus, register to win some great prizes, including Hickory Crawdad baseball tickets, a $25 gift card to Newt's, Cleveland County Fairground Speedway racing tickets, free rounds of golf at the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, What's Up Shopper t-shirts, and special door prizes from Campers Inn. Again, we'll be there this Saturday, 10 to 2. Campers Inn, Highway 161 south at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Once again, the winner of the Top 5 Blue Ribbon Dealer Award. Come see us this Saturday at Campers Inn of Kings Mountain.
It's time we refocus our attention and concern from drugs, drug laws, to human beings. Teach your kids the harmful effects of drug abuse. Knowing the facts will help your children make healthy choices. A tip from Firestone Fibers and Textiles Company in Kings Mountain. They know Kings Mountain, and it's a good place, and they're doing their part to keep it that way. That's Firestone Fibers and Textiles Company in Kings Mountain, a caring community leader always concerned for the future, safety, and welfare of our children.
Now you can earn 1,000 points for every night you stay at the Hampton Inn. It's part of the Hampton Inn's Grand Nights promotion. Your points will add up to unforgettable experiences. Find out more by visiting your nearest Hampton Inn. You'll always come back with a tale to share. Start turning points into stories worth sharing. Visit the Hampton Inn on Remount Road in Gastonia and start earning your points today.
For over 100 years, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home in Falston has been providing services to families of our community with care and compassion. And now the Stamey Funeral Home has added the Cremation Center along with a new name, the Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center. The Stamey Tysinger Funeral Home and Cremation Center on Highway 182 in Falston, and the Stamey Funeral Home in Cherryville, located on Dixie Street in Cherryville, serving you with care and compassion in your time of need.
The money you save in your savings accounts earns interest, so it just makes sense to have your checking account also earn interest for you. A money market checking account pays interest and also offers the flexibility of writing checks. Certain fees may apply.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community minded just like you.
Community minded, just like you.
The new cart paths are finished at Kings Mountain Country Club. Come on over and ride and play. Right now you can play and ride Monday through Friday for $27. Seniors 55 and older can ride and play Monday through Friday for $22. Ride and play weekends for $35. Make your tee time today by calling 704-739-5871. Enjoy the brand new cart paths, and the course is in great shape at the Kings Mountain Country Club, 109 Country Club Drive in Kings Mountain. Call again at 704-739-5871 for your tee time.
We make a joyful noise cheering our favorite high school football teams on Friday nights and our favorite college teams on Saturday. The Family of Faith at Ryan Heights United Methodist Church would like to invite you to come and make a joyful noise for the Lord on Sundays. Sunday school is at 10 and worship is at 11. Ryan Heights United Methodist Church is in Lincolnton on Madison Street, just up from Betty Ross Park. Come make a joyful noise with us.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. A bettor's dream today, is it not? A bettor's dream. Kentucky Derby today. Manny Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather fight.
For a gambler's nightmare.
Yeah, mine. It would definitely be mine. It would be.
It would have been mine to give $100 to see it.
The house I used to have. It would be that kind of. It'd be that kind of day if I was getting into the betting world. Ocho, Ocho, Ocho. How about that? 50-1 horse. Carpe Diem. I like the names. Materiality. I heard this today. It was a little trivia question. Wanted to know if they put the names up and you had to guess if it was racehorse or porn star.
Oh.
So you get to guess. Danzig Moon, Muptaj. That's a good one. El Kabir, Dortmund, Bolo, Firing Line, Stanford.
If you know the answers
named
to
after
either
a-
one of those, you got way too much time.
Yes, you're right.
Keen Ice, Frosted, War Story, Mr. Z. Usually pick me a name that I like and go with that. Looks like American Pharaoh might be the favorite today at 5-2 to win this thing. Far Right, Upstart. Got all kind of good names in this thing. Stanford. I just wonder if he's named after the college.
Could be. Well, David, you was mentioning that, and I look at that Kentucky Derby, and this is how I look at things, and this is me not being a total racehorse person, but I'm going to take whoever wins today, and that's who I'm pulling for next time.
And most people do that.
I mean, because that's what I want to see.
Everybody wants
But
to see another Triple Crown winner. It hadn't happened since '78.
yeah,
So.
that's just me, because I don't know these horses.
Didn't we have a two-time? The horse last year won the first two.
Yes.
And then didn't win the third. Did he not even race in the third? Wasn't it something like that? Had to pull out
that
for
was
some
a few
reason.
years back.
Oh, was it? Okay.
But
But
yeah,
didn't we?
it
We did
happens
have
all
a
the
two.
time.
We did have a 1-win-2 last year though, right?
Yeah.
And then got smoked, I guess.
Yeah, and the
Smoked.
owner, the
In the
owner
third.
went off on. Remember, he got mad because some horses.
Oh,
never competed
yes.
in the,
Well, no,
first
I'm
series.
with him on
that's
that.
right.
I agree. I agree with every bit of that. I think if you're going to race in all three, I mean, these three big races, you need to be in every one of them. And I do not like that when all of a sudden you got a dark horse that jumps up in the last one to
A
race.
dark horse. I like the way you put that.
Well,
Literally.
it is.
I like the way you put that. Let's go through baseball real quick. The Cubs shut out Milwaukee yesterday 1-0. Tampa Bay over Baltimore 2-0. The trend of shutouts continues in Major League Baseball. Yankees beat Boston in 3-2. I'm even going to elaborate on this one a little bit. A-Rod hit his first ever pinch hit home run in this game in the eighth inning that won the game. It was also his 660th that tied Willie Mays. He's now second on the all-time list as steroid users hitting home runs, right?
Well, no,
Behind Bonds.
Well, he's the first to be found. The failed.
Don't you take up for Bonds?
There you go.
No.
I'm with you, Jason.
Barry
I'm
ain't-
with you.
Barry failed the drug test.
He has not failed.
He's not.
None
he's
of
not
us
been
actually
suspended.
failed at that.
He's not.
that
Well, A-Rod didn't even get caught for a drug test. It was
Nah,
because of the
yeah.
clinic in Miami got busted. in. So yeah.
Well, okay, we'll say the alleged.
He's the first one to serve a
alleged. And I'm a Bonds fan. I like Barry Bonds. but-
A-Rod's the first to serve a suspension. That's in the top
Okay.
four. They're
Okay.
tied in the top five. In the top five, basically.
Yankees do win it 3-2. Cleveland beats Toronto 9-4. The Mets beat Washington, another shutout, 4-0. Miami over Philly 4-3. The Braves beat Cincinnati 4-3. Oakland beats Texas 7-5. Terry's Royals knock off the Tigers again 4-1. Minnesota over the White Sox 1-0. Houston wins again 4-3. St. Louis beats Pittsburgh. Kevin's happy 10 innings 2-1. I guess a walk-off. Wasn't a home run, was it? Okay.
I think it was a single.
Dodgers shut out Arizona. Dodgers have heated up as well. They've been 8-0 over Arizona. And San Diego, a much improved Padre team this year, beats Colorado by a score of 14-3. Yes, 14-3 in that one last night. American League East, it's the Yankees on top, 14-9. I know these records in American League East are not good, but I'm going to give some credit to the Yankees. They started like 3-6.
Yeah, they did.
So they've been very hot. They've won 8 of their last 10, and they're 14-9 in first place. Tampa Bay is second, a game out. Boston is third, 2 games out. The Orioles are 3 back, and Toronto 3.5 games out of first place. Terry's Royals lead the Central. They share the best record in the American League. The Royals are 16-7. They lead Detroit by 1.5. Excuse me. Minnesota by 5. Chicago White Sox by 6.5. And Georgia's Indians, the Indians holding everybody up, 7.5 games out of first place. The Houston Astros, what a surprise. Winners of 8 in a row, 9 out of 10, 16-7, tied with Kansas City for the best record in the American League. They lead the rest of the West, which is all below 500, believe it or not. The Angels, with a big-time payroll, are 11-12, 5 games out of first. Seattle 6 back, Oakland 6.5, and Texas 8.5 out of first. Although Texas is getting help, right? Josh Hamilton on the way for about a fourth of the salary.
Yes.
Yep.
The Mets lead the National League East. They have been a pleasant surprise for Mets fans this year. They are 16-8. Then comes the Braves. Everybody else below 500 here again. Braves and Marlins are 4.5 out, followed by the Nationals at 6 back, and the Phillies at 8 games back.
What is wrong with the Nationals?
Can't hit.
They are struggling to score runs. There's no doubt about it. They
Unreal.
are struggling to score runs.
When your pitchers are giving up less than 2 runs a game, but you still can't score.
Yeah.
They're struggling to score runs, but they still outscored the Phillies by 37. What does that tell you about the Phillies offense? The Phillies scored 66 runs in 24 games. Wow. That's just over 2 a game.
You won't win. You won't win.
Cardinals lead the Central, an impressive 16-6 record. Have won 8 of their last 10, including 4 in a row. Now they have lost Wainwright for the entire season. Has he been ruled out for the whole year?
Yeah. When they stay out for the year, they've done it a couple times. If they make the playoffs, he may be available. Well, you got to remember one thing: he's a National League pitcher. You can't run, do anything on your leg. If he was American League, he may have a chance to come back even earlier than that. But it's more than likely Achilles. So more than likely he's done for the season. But we'll see. I don't think it'll hurt their chances making the playoffs so much. The advanced statistics, if you believe in that stuff, shows that they will lose anywhere from 3 to 5 games off their wins. So I think they'll stay in the hunt. I'm just worried when we come playoff time. That's the horse you want on the mound when it comes down to it. So it'll be different. We've never won. We haven't won one since 2000 without him. So we'll see how it goes.
What's his age now?
Like 32 or 30. It's not that old. I can't get my internet coming up. My phone's not working.
I'm going to finish these standings in a minute. I just got a text that we have a coach on hold.
Yeah, I meant to tell you that.
Okay.
Sorry.
My fault, too. I just now saw the text. Alan Chapman from West Lincoln. Coach Alan Chapman on hold. Sorry about that, Coach. A little miscommunication, but glad to have you with us this morning after the marathon game last night. Long game last night. You guys come up just short.
He's still thinking about getting that Kansas City score in on his bracket
He's
today.
going to put us on hold a while now.
That's just fine, Coach. Our fault.
Turnabout's fair play. You got the buttons all pushed, Smoke, up top on the phone board. While he tries to get him hooked up, I'll finish the standings. Cardinals 16-6, Cubs 2.5 out, Pirates 4.5, the Reds 5.5, and the Brewers, who have only won 5 games, are 11.5 games out of first. The L.A. Dodgers lead the National League West 14-8. The Dodgers, even though they've just won 5 of their last 10, they still lead the West by 3 games over the Padres. Padres are at 500. The Rockies are 3 games back as well. Arizona Diamondbacks 4 games back, and San Francisco, even though they're in last place right now, still keep an eye on them. They're still just 4.5 games out of first place in this division, and have actually started to play a little better, winning 6 of their last 10 games. So there's a rundown of the Major League Baseball standings. Looks like the teams that, for the most part, with the exception maybe of Houston, the teams we expected to see
New York
up
Mets.
at the top. Yeah, well, a lot of people had high hopes for the Mets.
Well,
this year
I think
going
they're a
in.
year off.
But
I had
still,
them
doing
pretty good last
You got to
year.
get out there and prove that you can do it, and it would appear that the Mets, behind the right arm of Matt Harvey, doing real well. Coach Chapman, how are you this morning?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Sorry for a little miscommunication this morning. We got you on now, though. Glad to have you. Lack
That's
of sleep.
quite all right.
Lack of sleep. That's how I'm doing this morning. I'm sleepy. 50-minute sun
Yeah.
delay up at West Lincoln, followed by a 10-inning marathon game. Good rivalry game last night, Coach. You guys come up on the short end, but, man, you got a great pitching performance from Sam High.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I told our guys after the game, I know the feelings of losing, the feelings of senior night, feelings of possibility of being their last game. It all felt bad, but what a great game to be in. We came up on the short end. East Lincoln did a great job, and congratulate them on their conference championship. But I told those guys, at the beginning of the season, our goal was to get better, and sometimes you do better and lose, and last night was one of those. Sam threw phenomenal. We just weren't able to score and end up losing because of it. But my hat's off to those guys.
Well, Coach, I'll go ahead and say this and just throw it right out there on the line. You can't hide it. The first inning, you guys loaded the bases with nobody out, 3 straight hits to start the inning. Then we had the sun delay. We came back. East Lincoln had changed pitchers. You guys were able to get 1 run in on a wild pitch, but I thought that maybe you leaving some on the table there, and you know as well as I do, many games you've been involved in, if you leave some on the table early, a lot of times it comes back to haunt you, and it did.
Yeah, sun delay really hurt us. it just gave them time to get Burleson ready and get out of that inning. But that's part of the situation we have to deal with. They did a phenomenal job. We talk about not giving up crooked numbers. They talk the same thing. They give up one run and instead of two, and then it ends up. That's what wins the game for them.
And, while you were getting really good performance out of Sam High, who took you, I think, through 8 innings, if I'm not mistaken, last night in that game, allowing just the one run, East Lincoln was kind of pitching by committee. They were riding some of their horses' arms, and they went with, some different pitchers in the game last night by, starting let's see, who did they start last night? They started, was it Philemon on the mound? And then,
but after the delay, they come back with
he only
Burleson,
faced 3.
and then Childers, and then Cox. That's a pretty good committee.
It is.
I don't know which one of them doesn't throw 83, 84. I'm not sure. A couple of them don't get up there about 86, 87. So that's just they're blessed with some really good arms right now. I feel like we are too. Matt comes in and throws well. That's the first runs he'd give up in relief all year. The single there, and just a great rivalry game, like you said, between two county schools that were still playing for something last night, and if nothing else, playing for a little prize.
Yeah. Now, speculation was last night that this may drop you guys to the 3rd spot by way of the tiebreaker. Is the tiebreaker in the SD7 the team that beats the higher placed team? Moves up as Bunker.
Well, I'm almost to West Caldwell right now for our meeting, so I'm getting ready to find out. But I think we're going to be the 3 seed for the conference tournament. I think it has no bearing on the
playoffs.
The playoffs yet. So we're still we're still open for a 2 seed there, or possibly a 3. I guess we could get bumped even further maybe if somebody other than the top 3 win the conference tournament. But right now I'm just really trying to focus on the fact that we're playing pretty good. I think we've won maybe 7 out of 8 or 6 out of 8 or something going in last night, and we're playing well. We got a couple good arms on the mound, and I think we got a chance whenever we walk out there, and that's what you want to be doing as you enter the playoff.
Your team is playing well. I guess as far as the seeding goes, conference tournament, the only thing 2 or 3 will cost you is that second round home, and as the second round at neutral sites anyway.
Yes, the second round's going to be at Hickory Fairgrounds.
So it really doesn't matter. The only thing is you won't be batting last. Is the only thing you lose.
Just get the bat first.
So you're thinking the team that goes the farthest in the tournament or wins the rubber match head to head, like you and Bunker Hill split with each other. If you happen to play them in the tournament, and the winner of that game would get the 2 for the playoffs. Is that
That's been the way it's been done in the past. Yes, sir.
I like that better. You decided on the field.
I do too. We've had a couple playing games since I've been at West, and it's always better when it's decided on the field. You don't want to be anything to be decided, and it's not in your hands. That makes any decision tough.
Yes, it does. Coach, I'll let you comment a little bit. We appreciate you calling this morning. You talked about your team a little bit. I'm going to mention this and then let you just say something about this group. Alec Johnson, Mac George, Ashton Rana, Jake Bradley, Caleb Adams, and Kenneth Stevens, I think, are your 6 seniors that were playing on senior night last night. So those guys will depart you after the season.
Yeah, they will, and it's been a group that we've really gotten close to. Alex a 4-year player for us, Mac a 3-year guy, and they've just got such great personalities. They've been able to rally together here in the last several weeks and really come together. And even the guys that don't get quite as much playing time, their mentality, their perspective about the game, their willingness to do whatever's best for the team. I've just really this group's grew on me and really come to love these guys and just miss them a lot. Hate to see them go.
All right, and another question, Coach. You were telling me, whenever the conference tournaments do wind down, some conferences not having a tournament, like the South Mountain over here with Shelby and those guys, they're winding up their regular season next week. Playoffs are scheduled to start the following week, and you tell me they're scheduled for Wednesday and Saturday of that week. with the option, I guess, to play a day early.
Yes, they are. And now that'll depend on who you play and when you find out. And, the ability to communicate with that team will dictate, if you're able to move to Tuesday, Friday. But they're scheduled for Wednesday, Saturday.
Wednesday, Saturday, and that's beginning May 13th. May 13th would be the scheduled opening day.
Sounds right.
For the high school players. Are you a proponent of Saturday high school games, or does it make any difference to you, or would you rather play on a day that you're actually going to school?
I'd rather play on a day we're going to school. Just seems like the kids are more into it and they play a little better. I know a lot of teams, and we played some Saturdays last year. We played one this year. But when you have kids and family and trying to see my daughter play softball, I've become more of a proponent of playing when we're in school, so I can go watch her play when we're not. Yeah, but that's just selfish from my standpoint.
Yeah, but that's life, though. That's human nature, and
It is. I mean, we sacrifice a lot of time, and we love what we do, but it's nice to be able to see our kids play too.
You mentioned that you did play one Saturday game this season, but obviously not of playoff magnitude. See, the playoff games mean, elimination games there mean just a little bit more. Coach, I've done all the question asking, and you called us. I didn't know if you had anything on your mind you wanted to say.
No, I just hadn't called this year, and I wanted to call and congratulate East Lincoln, Coach Field, those guys on the job well done. I think this is one of the better conferences we've been in.
Very even.
Top to bottom. I know Lincoln's playing well, and they beat us. They beat Maiden last night. Coach Seaman, those guys do a really good job down there. It's been one of the best leagues I've been in a long time. You had to play every night. We had a chance, for second place there, I guess, and possibly tie for first if we had East Lincoln drop those last two, and that's just unheard of to have teams fall that far and still be in first and second.
Right.
But I do appreciate you guys' coverage you give us, and your commitment to high school sports. Just want to call and thank you guys and talk a little bit about my team.
Absolutely, Coach. Congratulations on another fine season, and I hope you continue it. Hope you keep it going, and good luck in the tournament and the playoffs that are coming up as well. Appreciate you.
All right.
Thank
you so much. Y'all have a good day.
You too. Coach Alan Chapman there, classy enough, kind enough to call after a disappointing loss last night, a heartbreaking loss last night, extra innings. But he said it, what a game, big crowd on hand, cool night, breezy night. A lot of fans, out in jackets and heavier coats last night with the breeze blowing up there at West Lincoln. But, it's to play the top team in the conference, also one of your rivals, and to that far. I know it was disappointing for him, Terry, at the end there to see it go away and not win that home game. But, still a great game.
Yeah, it was. And and I'm going to step out there a little bit, but you got coaches around our area that maybe do not have all the talent that a lot of other teams have, but you take a Mathill, you take a Chapman, you take some of the coaches that we have in our area, they can get so much out of their team even with less talent than, a lot of coaches that I know of. So great job for these guys, and great season for West Lincoln.
Yes, it is. They definitely, and like I said, hopefully for West Lincoln, East Lincoln, the teams in our area, the Maiden Blue Devils, Lincoln, everybody coming up in this tournament here, in that SD7, which was so competitive. It's funny how East Lincoln didn't seem that much better than anybody in the league, but they wound up winning the league by 4 games.
Yeah,
which is unbelievable that they were able to pull out. They lost lost both their games in the conference in 1 week without scoring a run. And it wasn't to what we'd say the West Caldwell was one of the losses. It wasn't one of the top 4 teams that knocked them off that week. But very competitive, very competitive. We got a big showdown coming up. We're going to cover some high school in a minute. Big showdown coming up on Tuesday night in the South Mountain Athletic Conference that will determine the conference champion in that league. We'll take a break. Back with more sports talk in a moment.
Listen closely.
Now get 0% financing for 72 months during the Spring Savings Sales Event at Marburger Nissan in Shelby. 0% financing for 72 months with approved credit and a 700-plus Beacon score. Check out the great deals like an 015 Nissan Altima S for only $19,490 or a 2015 Nissan Frontier SV, $23,990, and a new 2015 Nissan Versa, only $13,990. 0% financing for 72 months with approved credit at Marburger Nissan. Come on in for the details. 1308 East Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at marburgernissan.com.
Since 1955, Shelby Farm and Garden has been serving you. That's 50 years, 5 decades, half a century. Well, you know what I mean. They have what you need and have been doing it for you for a while. And now, Mike and CM have the largest selection of seeds, like flower, vegetable, and grass seed, plants like tomato, blueberry, muscadine, fig, and more, fruit trees like apple, plum, cherry, and pear. Plus, they have greenhouse supplies, bird feed, and animal repellents. There's also fertilizer, straw, and pine needles at Shelby Farm and Garden, 310 Market Street in Shelby, behind BB&T.
Homestar Mortgage is now in their new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby, right next to the DQ. You're invited to come by and see their new offices. And when it comes to a home loan, see Homestar Mortgage. Talk with Bob Webb about your new home. From conventional loans to FHA to VA to USDA, and all loan programs are available to qualified buyers. Find out more today. Visit the new Homestar Mortgage, now in the new location at 824 South DeKalb Street in Shelby next to DQ. Call 704-482-2588. Homestar Mortgage, it's the easiest way home.
We're community minded. We believe in what we do. We love this town. We live in just like you.
We're a community bank. That's why we always try to approach things from a community-minded point of view. When something is in the best interest of the communities we serve, it's good for us as well. We're community-minded, just like you.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community minded, just like you.
We're community minded, just like you.
Drug abuse is both a problem for the individual and a problem for the community. Users alone can't solve their problems. They need our help. Please support drug intervention initiatives in our community. A word from Heather Superette, 1410 East Church Street in Cherryville, where service is more than a word, it's a fact based on their dedication to quality, integrity. That's Heather Superette, another concerned business working for the betterment of our community.
From Shelby, turn off Highway 74 at Highway 226, up Highway 226 to the caution light at Zion Church Road. There on the corner is Kibo's. Been there for over 20 years. Kibo's, where you'll find Hunt Brothers Pizza, snacks, candy, chips, also soft drinks, hand-dipped and packaged ice cream, bread, tobacco products, and much more. Yes, that's Kibo's. And don't forget to fill that vehicle up with gasoline at Kibo's, 226 North at the caution light in Shelby.
Welcome back to Sports Talk. David, Jason, Terry, Smoke, Kevin, all in with you in the studio today. Beautiful day outside. Plenty good enough for outdoor activities. You got games today, Terry? Going to umpire?
I don't have no games, but we've run Kevin off. He's probably went to put in that other $100 to get us that fight tonight.
Or maybe he flew to Vegas.
He might. Yeah, he could have. He had some bags with him when he come in.
I know a couple of guys that's out there this weekend in Vegas.
Do you?
Yeah, a couple of my frat brothers.
Charles Barkley?
No, a couple of my frat brothers are out there. They're not attending the fight, but they're out in Vegas. You know.
Where things will be hopping. Like I said, man, it's a gambler's paradise today.
I didn't give you. I heard you was talking about on the scale of 1 to 10 how interested you are in this fight. For me, 7.
7.
Yeah. If this was 5 years ago, it would have been 10.
Right, and I actually pictured you to be higher than I thought you would be the one guy in the group that might be up around 9 or even 10. But I know, and mine has not got anything to do with who's fighting. Mm-hmm. Like I said, I'm up to a 3. Yeah. If it wasn't these two guys, it'd be a 1 or a 0 for me. But it is up to a 3. I will check and see who won. I'll be interested to see who won the fight. I'm not. Are you watching?
Yeah, I'm going to a fight party. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm going there.
You better hope you don't go to a fight party.
Well, not going to a party that watch the fight, but you never know. You have to be careful at fight parties, man.
Yes, you do.
It can get crazy. And especially if it's guys of the opposite race. If you want to see where things get drawn on racial lines, go to a fight party.
that would be interesting. Be a fly on the wall, right?
Yeah.
Be a fly on the wall and take that in. So we're going to get into some high school sports a little bit, talk about some of the games last night. Terry's got some scores. He's got some standings. First, let me mention Kevin Ray Lincoln asked me to mention, he and Athletic Director Cole Sigmund, that reserve seats are on sale now for Lincoln football games. Also, you can see Kevin. Folks that's got them know how to get in touch with Kevin.
That's it.
So you can go ahead and pay up and reserve your seat for the upcoming 2016 season. Also, he said they're finalizing sales now. Did I say 16?
Yeah.
Man, how many times have I seen 16 and people putting it putting it on paper by mistake already? I got an email from a local school. I won't even mention, but they had 2016 on there, and then they went back and corrected 2015. Why is everybody wanting next year to get here in such a hurry?
I guess they want my wedding to come pretty soon.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
There you go. That's right.
You're not going to be one of those pushes it back to 17, are you?
Nah.
He's on the radio. She might be listening, so obvious answer is no. If anything, he says he'd push it up a little sooner. But see Kevin Ray and the guys over there about reserving your seats. They're finalizing sales for the ad sales for the program as well. So do that. And if anybody else wants us to mention anything like that for your school, just let me know through email, KeeverDavid@yahoo.com. Be so glad to get it on the air for you. Big night last night and a big week coming up in high school sports. Terry, you got some scores from last night.
I do, and we're going to start off on the softball side as Cherryville defeated Bessemer City yesterday 12-8. It was Forest View over Hunter Huss 10-1. It was East Gaston defeating Stuart Kramer 17-7. It was Lake Norman Charter 7, Ashbrook 1. It was Kings Mountain 11, Shelby 1, and Highland Tech over Pine Lake Prep 14-7. In baseball action yesterday, it was Forest View 3, Hunter Huss 2. It was Lake Norman Charter 1, Ashbrook 0, East Gaston 15, Stuart Kramer 0 in 5 innings. And it was Highland Tech 8, Pine Lake Prep 7. In the SMAC conference yesterday, it was Crest defeating East Rutherford 8-3 and Burns over Drone 12-2, setting up a showdown on Tuesday night between Crest and Burns. And the SMAC standings is Crest is 13-1, Burns 11-1, East Rutherford 10-4, RS Central 7-6, Kings Mountain 8-7, Chase 5-9, Drone 5-9, East Burke 2-11, and Shelby 0-13.
Which is a very big surprise to me.
Very surprising.
One conference game left, and they've yet to win a conference game. And that one surprises me the most out of that entire conference.
In the Southern District, it was East Lincoln over West Lincoln 3-1 in 10 innings. It was Bunker Hill 8, West Caldwell 5, Lincoln 4, Maiden 2. Two big wins for Lincoln in this year. One win, like we said, over Maiden, and before over West Lincoln.
And Terry, their better players are young players.
Oh yeah. And it was Newton Con over 5, Bandy's 2. So the final standings: East Lincoln 12-2, Bunker Hill and West Lincoln at 9-5, Maiden 8-6, Newton Con over 7-7, West Caldwell 6-8, Lincoln 3-11, and Bandy's 2-12.
And Kevin, I was asking you there silently. The game Tuesday night will be on KTC Broadcasting.
Yes,
audio and video.
That is at Burns at Crest. Also, we'll have Monday night's East Rutherford at Cherryville game on video as well. That senior night at Cherryville.
So there you go.
And speaking of this, while we are talking about it online, I was trying to bring it up, but we have remodeled and updated KTCBroadcasting.com. Hopefully made it easier for you guys to navigate through. So feel free to go online and visit us any chance you get. Basically, when you go to the homepage, guys, the 3 radio stations and the video tabs are there right there. Highlighted in red. Click on one of those, go to the station of your choice, or you could watch us. All of our studio shows are on the main page. Just scroll down to the bottom. You can live chat with us. You can watch us there
if you're brave
in live studio. Up at the top, if you're looking for a specific broadcast, you come to our page. You don't know, you're new to the page. You don't know exactly where to go to find Burns football or Cherryville Ironman. Each team in our area has its own page on our website. So if you're looking for that specific team, go to the Lincoln page, and if there's a broadcast for Lincoln, it'll be on that page. But if you're looking for the specific broadcast on the very front page, up at the top, in the top right, you'll see a scrolling little slideshow of artwork or whatever. It'll say today's games, today's broadcast. So whatever's on today, just click on that logo. It'll take you to a page where you can watch or listen to that broadcast. So hopefully it's easier for our fans and everybody to watch online. Getting ready for football this fall and American Legion this summer, so we're getting ready big time for that. We also have updated whatsupshopper.com website as well, so all of our contests and all of our ads in the paper, everything in the paper is on the website. So go to both our websites, ktcbroadcasting.com and whatsupshopper.com. Check out the new websites and tell us tell us how you like it, and let us know if we can help you guide you through, Terry, if you can't find your Rebels.
I
Hopefully
like
you can.
that simple stuff. I like that stuff. That's how it should be.
I'd show it to you.
Are you going to be Terry's tutor?
Yeah, I'm going to be Terry's tutor.
Good
If
luck.
you go to the front page, and if you're looking for something specific, it should be right there, flipping through on the front page. You can choose your broadcast. So hopefully, Terry, you'll be able to find it when you're looking for it.
As long as it's simple.
There it is. It's updated, very
Yes,
informative,
keep it simple,
and if you can't make the games, if you can't get out to the games, a lot of people that take in these videos are not just because they can't go and are here, but they're out of town, out of state, whatever the reason
Out of
may
the country.
be. Yep, out of the country, and it's a good way to
of the
check
continent.
in. And I'm telling you, that game Tuesday night, Crest and
Should be a good
Burns, that
game.
should be a
I did
lot
the,
of fun. A lot of fun.
I did the game at Burns when it was. I guess we didn't even talk about this. Did you guys talk specifics on the runs in that game and how that happened? So Burns won 12-11, right? At one point it was 8-7.
This is the first meeting with Crest.
First meeting. At one point it was 8-7.
lot of
All
runs.
15 runs were with 2 outs.
Really?
8-7. The game ended 12-11. 19 of the 23 runs were with 2 outs.
30 hits in
Amazing.
that
I mean,
game, too.
we watched that. I mean, Evan was doing camera. It would be 1 out, 2 out, and like rally time, boys. And both teams would rally. Burns, all 12 of their runs, they end up coming back twice on Crest. All 12 of their runs were with 2 outs. Won 12-11 with 12 2-out runs. It's amazing, Jason. Burns, let's see. Crest went up 3-1. Burns tied them. No, they went 1-0. They tied them. 3-1. They tied them. Then Crest hits a grand slam up 7-3. Like, okay, it's about to, it's about to be the end. And both teams had their aces on the mound too. So
Now that's what I was going to ask.
And then Burns
that's
said,
a
"You
lot
know
of
what?"
runs scored.
Then Burns got 1 out, 2 out, down 4 runs. Still 5 runs with 2 outs. They take an 8-7 lead. So it's just amazing. What a fun game.
When it rains, it pours.
And you, folks, you can watch it. You
Many
can go back
games.
and watch it on YouTube. We've got it. Just type in Burns and Crest baseball this year. I mean, it was a fun game, wasn't it, Evan?
Oh yes, it was. It was hits galore. I thought it was never going to end with the way they were hitting the
Well,
ball in that
it
game.
was actually our first broadcast since the passing of Dan Greer, and we think he had a lot to do with that. We actually had computer problems that night, so we were like, Dan, he's making sure this is a radio only broadcast. We got the video recorded, but it was one heck of a game and that they put on for us. Up
Well,
there.
answer something for me. That was Crest only lost in conference play.
Right.
Who knocked off Burns?
RS Central.
RS Central knocked off Burns.
RS Central.
So if Burns hadn't lost that game, they would be playing for, at worst, a share.
Right.
But now since they did lose that game, this matchup will determine the conference champion. Terry, you got 11-1. Does that mean that is that right? Does Burns have that many games to make up in conference play?
Well, they play Tuesday.
Could that be and it looks like Tuesday's the end because East Rutherford is actually finished. They've played their 14. RS Central 1 to go.
So Burns got 1 against Crest, but Crest you got down there at 13-1.
I'm thinking that might be 12. I don't know.
We've got to get our other.
Well,
how many teams are in that league?
Well,
Is
we
there
got
9?
well. Max Preps didn't. They haven't uploaded the score to last night's game, so they should be 12-1.
Well, I'll say this too. Everybody's got games to play because there's actually 9 teams in the conference. You got to play 16.
When's
so
the official last day?
They got 2. Well, it has to be by next Friday because the playoffs will start the following week. So I guess everybody does play at least 2 games next week in that league. Except Kings Mountain, they got 1 more. If they've played 15, they got 1 more to go. So
Kings Mountain had a lot of heartbreaking losses this year. I mean, it seemed like they were in a lot of games. And
I
they
saw a
ended
lot
up
of their
losing
scores being close.
very,
and
very
yeah.
close games, and
Yep.
just things happen.
Yeah,
sometimes.
last week against Crest, they really fought with Crest, and
Yeah.
they just came up short. They're a really good ball team that just came up short this year in a lot of games.
East Rutherford fans, people that follow them, Coach Reynolds, it looks like they will be the top 2A seed. So even though they're not going to win the conference, they're going to still get what they wanted to achieve, and that's being the 1 seed out of the conference and playing some home playoff games, which we all know how hard they are to beat up at Forest City when the playoffs roll around. So. Hey, very good information. Lots going on in the world of high school sports. You mentioned the West Lincoln girls softball. Congratulations, Coach Tyler Sane and that group, back-to-back conference championships in a pretty tough softball conference. Now they've won back-to-back championships in that, and of course, I've been wondering. Coach Chapman mentioned a little earlier about how even the conference was this year, and I made mention that I thought in our whole area the best baseball teams might be the two best might be the two that are playing Tuesday between Crest and Burns might be our two best teams in our area. Also got to throw Cherryville in that mix. They're a very good team.
Cherryville's beat Crest.
They have beat Crest. They split with Crest this year, and could have easily won. From what I heard, could have easily won the game this week.
Yeah.
Let it
Cherryville
slip
beat
away.
East.
Cherryville beat East Lincoln. That's right. So they have beat some conference champions.
Yeah, they have.
Did they match up with Burns this year? Did they play Burns? Didn't play Burns this year. But we got some pretty good teams. What I'm wondering is, Cherryville's going to be strong in the playoffs, I do believe, in 1A. I think Crest and Burns can play well in 3A.
2A.
That's what I'm asked about, the 2A. How
you said 3.
Right, Crest and Burns.
Oh.
I think
right.
they can compete in the 3A. But the 2A, are we going to have anybody that, I'm wondering how good our 2A baseball is. Is it middle of the road, the reason everybody's packed together?
Well, Shelby's not there, so it's got to be from Lincoln County.
And Coach Reynolds, Coach Reynolds over at East Rutherford's also told me that their team's not as good as he's had in the past, that they struggle to hit the ball, but he gets a lot out of them. They still went 10-4 in a tough league. But, I don't know. I don't know how deep. We've had football and basketball in 2A go a long way in our area, but I don't know if we will in baseball.
We was mentioning last night, and even Johnny brought up Bunker Hill, as long as they can throw that left-hander that they've got. He thinks they can go a long way. And, with the game span as far as they are without having to move them up or back, maybe so. East Lincoln, I think overall depth they can play. West Lincoln's got to have a little bit of hitting. They got great pitching to be able to produce. And the Maiden, give or take on Maiden here. But to go deep, I don't know.
Well, I just got a text answering one of our questions about how many games, and Coach David Wise, Burns Bulldogs, sends me a message. We are 13-1, and for some reason Max Preps don't have all the games.
Yeah, they
listed. I
don't
wrote it
have
on
it
there
all.
for you.
Yeah.
Turn your scores in, David.
Max Preps. Now my question is, and I just sent it to him, who is your final game with?
Well, Crest.
They'd have to play 2 next week.
They're missing 2.
Yeah,
okay.
And everybody would. Crest would have another game too. So I'm guessing it's going to be Kings Mountain probably for one of them. And is there another 3A opponent in that league? Usually at the end, you're matched up against the teams that are in your classification. I don't know. Good question.
Maybe RS Central, I'm not sure.
RS is a 2A, but that don't mean. I guess if there's only 3 3As in there, they'd have to cross up and play. I don't know what the balance is. Burns plays RS in their final game. Okay,
Ooh, and
which
that's
is
a team
tough.
that has beat them.
Crest
Right?
plays Shelby, which makes sense. The rivalry matchup.
So Burns got 2 very tough
Burns
games.
has
Coach.
2 tough ones. Yes, they do.
They can pull it off.
Yes, they do.
Got a good team.
Now, if they win against Crest, it won't matter as much because they'll get the 1 seed because they will have swept Crest. So, but they'd still I'm sure like to win the conference championship outright. So they'd like to go through next week.
Yeah, and they would
by winning both.
They would love to get. I mean, any team would love to get a lot of confidence, especially against teams like Crest and RS Central going into the playoffs. They give you the confidence. Hey, we can compete. We can make a run in this playoffs. If you lose one of those games or 2, it really, the attitude and
not only that, Smoke, but your seeding's going to drop.
Yeah, the seeding's going to drop, which hurts.
Yep.
But you need to get both of these wins. You can't slack on both these games. You just got to play good baseball and win the ball games, and you should be good. Confidence will be high, and then go into the playoffs and keep on rolling through the field.
What will the crowd be like at Crest Tuesday night?
Well,
well, I mean, there's not much room to sit, but it'll be packed as far as many people as you can.
there was a couple
Get
hundred,
up there.
about 250, I would say, at the Crest Burns game last time, and all those people were sitting in their chairs on the hill. It was pretty packed, so I would imagine it'd be a very packed crowd at Crest.
Yeah, you might see double that with
Yeah.
so much on the line.
Oh, yeah,
you
it'll
know?
be
you
cramped.
might see double that with so much on the line. So, yeah, thank you, Coach Wise, sending in that information. That does tell us a little more that obviously you got 16 games to play in conference because it's a 9-team league, and yeah, that's a tough week. Crest and RS Central, two of the top teams, and RS has given Burns their only loss in conference play. So maybe Coach Wise has a chance to get a little revenge there as the season winds down. Any other high school news in our area? We got to mention, I know the two to my right aren't going to like this, but we got to mention Brandon Ingram last week making his decision to go to Duke. But and then the reason I want to bring that up, Coach, I almost said Coach. Brian Hanks, he is the coach. He's the coach of Kinston, the town. Brian Hanks was kind enough to call us last week, give his thoughts, and guys, he nailed it. He hit it right on the money. He said he thought there was an 80% chance that he would go to Duke and choose Duke. Does this sting as Carolina fans? Jason, I know you got on some people's case because they were bad-mouthing Ingram after he decided to go to Duke, and that's just frustration coming out. But this kid,
people being childish.
Yeah, petty,
cussing him and calling him names.
Yeah,
I mean, that's bad. He don't
it's like
deserve
he offended you because he went to went to school. He come on.
Yeah,
but now, from what I understand, Carolina just has one incoming player at this point.
He's
right?
like
one incoming player.
And
Luke
he's a
May.
three-star.
Luke May. He's a 4-star player according to ESPN's rankings.
Okay.
He's Charlotte. I mean, he's from Charlotte.
Huff
High. Yeah, his
yeah.
dad was a quarterback at Carolina.
Yeah.
Played at Independence. Mark
you talking about Carolina's recruiting for a long time, but hey, it is what it is. I mean, it's the highs and lows of recruiting. You either get them or you don't. A lot of folks from Carolina expect, since he had the Kinston connection, playing for Jerry Stackhouse's AUT, you would have thought, they thought that may be in there. But I heard one of the podcasts I listened to, the guy said basically it was like this. Kay said, "All right, thanks, Roy, for laying the ground rope, and I come and finish it off." That's what that was things right there. But other than that, hey,
I got two things I want to know here. How long can coaches go on? And Krzyzewski, Roy Williams, getting on up there in age. Gottfried not as old. Calipari came into this guy's house not as old. Bill Self not as old. And who am I leaving out? There was one more team.
UCLA
was
UCLA. It was
Alford.
Yep, Steve
Okay.
Alford. So yeah.
The younger guy as well. How long can these coaches put as much time and effort and energy into recruiting these kids that most likely going to be there 1 year?
But it's got to be.
You got to do this every year.
With Duke, though, their lead recruiter is Capel. So, he's probably putting the majority of the work, and then K come in and just cleans it up. Whereas I don't know who's the lead recruit guy for Carolina. I never heard to talk about. I don't know if it's Steve Robinson, if it's Hubert Davis. I doubt it's Hubert Davis because he just come on the staff.
But why not though? A recruit. I mean, to me, kind of like.
Didn't he have a special guy from Kansas that he brought with him? Didn't Roy bring
he
a couple of guys from Kansas?
CB McGrath and Jared Hayes, who's now the coach at UAB. That came from Kansas.
Who everybody speculates will be the next head coach at Carolina.
Who?
Jared Hayes.
Exactly.
Yeah, Jared Hayes.
Exactly.
He played basketball for Roy at Kansas, and then he coached
a non-Carolina guy.
Yeah, it won't happen.
A non-Carolina guy.
Well, Kansas. The last time they got a coach from Kansas,
they ruined the program for 5 years by putting Bill Guthridge in there. So Hubert Davis might.
Hold on. The last time they got an alum from Kansas was Dean Smith.
Well, that was 75 years ago
or more.
Don't knock it. Yeah, don't knock.
My other question to you guys: do you think the biggest reason Ingram decided? He grew up a Duke fan, which I didn't understand why Carolina. I mean, you obviously don't go where you're a fan of always, and I'd say you only go where you're a fan of maybe 10% of the time.
Well, if you're a fan of Duke and they're good, you go Duke.
Right at that time, but do you think the biggest reason he ruled Carolina out was the looming sanctions?
No, why would he care? He's going to be here 1 year,
and I don't think they'll be laid down by then.
If he had academic concerns, he should have went to Carolina because the classes would have been easier, and he'd only had to be there
not
for
anymore.
one semester.
Not anymore.
Well, not anymore,
Not
maybe.
anymore.
But my point, yeah,
They
why
should be
would
strict as they can be right now.
He don't give for if he's leaving 1 year, academic things for him to even say that it shouldn't even mean anything.
And why is it in their mind that this is going to happen and it's going to be?
But you know what?
Because
you know what I'm thinking.
And will it happen that soon?
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think
all
so.
coaches, but there are some coaches out there you don't want to go to them. You might not. Your career can be ruined. Once they
now
get
I've talked to a
sanctions.
couple lawyers who've read the reports and everything, and they say they can't do nothing in Carolina.
The NCAA has actually come out and said it's not an NCAA
Yeah,
issue.
exactly,
It's an
exactly.
academic. Like
It's
it's
exactly.
it's about the accreditation.
So there may not ever anything happen to it. The lawyers I've talked to that went to, of course, the two that I talked to went to Carolina Law School. So let me say that first. They completely
Just a
read the
little bit
report.
biased.
Yeah, and he's like, "No, I'm non-biased here. I read it." Okay, but anyway, he did actually read the whole thing, and he did say that it, like Jason just said, it's NCAA might not or cannot do anything about the way they did it.
More man than I am if he read that whole thing.
I know. Well, that's his job, I guess.
That's why he charges $200 an hour, right?
Exactly.
Man,
And you can't blame.
Probably this thick.
I want to mention something. You cannot blame Ingram for choosing Duke for one reason. All
There's
them
about
guys are
10
gone.
reasons I can give you.
Well, because he knows I'm going to go there and I'm going to start.
He's going to play.
Yeah.
At Carolina, you're not averaging 20. At Duke,
That's-
he's going to let him.
Right.
For the most part, the Duke players they got free range. They can shoot wherever they want. Carolina, you got to play that stupid little system. It works. It's good. It's a good foundation. But they don't branch off of it enough for kids like Michael Jordan, Stackhouse, Wallace, Carter, Ingram. If that's what he wants to be, he's not going to go score 20, 25.
Quite honestly, he's the type player.
That's why Tokuto wants to leave.
He could have gave either one of these teams, and he'd a whole lot better shot.
Oh, yeah.
At a Final Four. I mean, he makes him a legitimate factor of going to the Final Four. Either one of the two teams.
Carolina already before Ingram was already a preseason top 5 team. I mean, people act like the cupboard is bare right now at Carolina. It's not.
No, they got the
They've
best.
got a front line.
They have the best returning
studs at the front
players
line.
in the country. They got the best returning players in the country.
They got nobody to shoot though. There's probably
Page. That's it.
in
That's
this
still-
room. I mean, we can find as many Carolina shooters Carolina's got.
Now,
But they're going to rebound and they're going to stick it back in. There's the difference that comes in.
They're still like they after Ingram they turned their prospects to number 4 small forward Jaylen Brown. He was a Carolina fan growing up, but they got to the recruiting trail on him late. And he just committed to Cal last night. He committed to Cal over.
Did he do
Carolina.
that last night?
He committed
Okay.
over Carolina, Michigan, and Kansas.
And did that win?
Last night.
Okay, so there's only 2 out of the ESPN top 100 that has not committed.
We
only
weren't worried
2.
about Ingram. We were counting on the Strats to come to Carolina, and that just now we have nothing.
now and then now.
Chaz mentioned sanctions.
Now see him. He's
Football's a little
different.
bit different.
He's different. He's got to be
Another
there
year
3
down the
years.
road.
Yeah.
He's worried about academic stuff. Ingram don't have a reason to worry about academic stuff.
And then the other
I
kid,
can see that.
The other kid that Carolina is after now is Kenny Williams. He had decommitted from VCU when Shaka Smart took the job at Texas, and he's turned his list down to Carolina and Virginia. So and he's gonna.
They're still missing that one starter, are they not? In Tokudo's place.
That's what I'm saying. They go out to shooting.
Well, if they say Pinson, they so you don't.
It's
I don't
who?
know. Maybe
Theo
Pinson.
Could come up.
So-
He was plagued by foot injuries last year.
They had some kids too. I thought played well at the end of the year. That really contributed in their NCAA tournament.
Well, Barry,
run.
he looked like a McDonald's All-American.
A lot of them's talking about Barry starting and moving Page back to shooting guard. So we'll see.
As long as it ain't Nate Brett, I'm fine.
Oh gosh,
I don't know, man. If I'm a Carolina guy, I like that ball in Page's hands.
Oh yeah.
And
A
I know
lot.
y'all,
He can do so many
as
things with it.
Duke fans and Carolina fans, you're going to get these recruits. But
We didn't mean to leave you out, Terry.
Well, no, as me as a State fan, this is where I get
Everybody
disappointed.
just left it at State.
No, I get disappointed.
To be honest with you.
Because out of this top 100 people, you go down through there. Duke's got like 4 committed to come there. And I mean, you go to Kentucky, they've probably got 4 committed to come there. You take the top-notch teams. The Carolina was the only one that really surprised me. They've only had 1 that's committed to come there. But, you take a State, you take a Clemson, you take, not Florida State. Florida State picked up a few. But you take some of them teams down at the lower bracket of the ACC. We're never going to be committed for these guys to come there because nobody's going to come. They're going to go to a Kentucky, a Duke, a Carolina, a UCLA, a Kansas. Those teams is only going to be 1 year and they're going to be gone. My whole deal is, how does college basketball continue to be the top sport of all time with this continuing to happen?
I think that's where the one and done actually hurts the teams because, again, stay with me here, is when Ingram goes to Duke, so does somebody else. You know,
Oh,
if,
yeah.
these,
Yes.
if these kids were
Yes.
going to the NBA, they would all be kind of making a name for themselves. And this is the LeBron Magic 3 syndrome that he started in
What happened with
Boston.
Okafor and
Yeah.
Tyus Jones? They were good
So
friends.
You
when they
got
committed,
one going
the
to do
other
it, then the
committed.
next thing you know, you got one and done. Because like Kentucky's happening, and then Terry and them. Well, why would you go to NC State? If name me one reason other than I'm going to get to play. But I mean, if you're that good,
If
you're going to
you're
get to
one
play
and done,
anywhere else.
if you're one and done.
or if you're anybody. I mean, if you're a second tier player, wouldn't you want to go to with Ingram to Duke or with somewhere else?
But
instead of
only
Kentucky or
thing is,
Carolina?
if Duke is not looking at you.
Oh, that's
then
true. Yeah,
and
definitely.
the
Yeah,
state,
definitely.
you know, from the ACC is calling. You know, they're from
Yeah,
the
yeah,
ACC.
absolutely.
Okay,
Am I
but
disappointed
if they're
in
not
Ingram?
Carolina or Kentucky or Kansas,
I am
probably
disappointed
is.
in Ingram because State was the first team, like Byron Hank said last
freshman.
week, to come after him in year one.
See, State will
You
probably
know-
them and these lower teams. They're not going to get as soon as Coach K or Roy makes that call.
Oh yeah,
You're out.
I'm with you. You're right. I'm
You're
with
out.
you. I'm with you
And-
100%.
It's like that in a lot of in football and other things too. But
Nick
you're
Saban
out.
has that kind
Yeah.
of power, and you know there are a couple in
Yeah.
college football that have that kind of
But
power too.
But you know what's telling? Kentucky,
Urban
I
Meyer.
think, still has 3 openings, like three, 4 scholarship openings left. And Ingram, Jalen Brown, all these last few guys that's in this top, they were top 5 ESPN guys that probably would have committed to Kentucky 2-3 years ago, have turned them down. So Calipari losing his team.
Now, Terry, the good thing is for you guys, for these lower tier schools, this allows them to build continuity.
He's calling you a lower tier school. over
Well,
there.
Well, I mean, we are
It allow-
compared to
it'll-
what we're talking
it
about.
allows
We are.
Godfrey
it is
to these
definitely
others to build
a B
continuity.
basketball program. If we got them
Right.
on tier, State's a B.
Yeah.
But if if they do a good job, it gives y'all the chance of, hey, you know, if all these other teams are going freshman, sophomore, it gives y'all a chance at some point or another to make a run and build a good
Well,
team.
you know what?
But
That's
here's
with a
where
solid B
here's where
team.
you run into
What
that
if you got
because
5 hands
you got
runs?
people.
Trevor Lacey,
Yeah,
a
you-
transfer
Then
that comes and leaves after 1 year.
Yeah, I don't get that.
I mean, you know,
But you
So
know
you
what?
do have a one and done.
Yeah, but that's what. But you know what? That's what also helped Carolina. That's going to help Carolina this season. Look how they are a veteran team coming into this next basketball season. With they'll have 3 seniors that'll be in their top 6, top 8 rotation. 3 seniors that what college team usually have 3 seniors in the top 8 rotation from a blue blood school? You know?
I'll say
Not
this too.
much.
One thing about Duke, Okafor said he was going pro before he ever set
Yeah,
foot
he
on Duke's
did.
campus.
He was
okay?
flat out telling me.
I think Winslow's 50-50, and
Jones.
Tyus Jones would have never went pro after his freshman season if they didn't win the title. I don't think, and he didn't have as good a tournament as he did.
Well,
you know, I think if he stays at he had a couple good games.
yeah, he
during the
did,
season,
especially
but
in the big games against Virginia and
Wisconsin
Carolina
on the road.
Yeah, and I think the factors that got
but I don't
Brandon
think
Ingram
he was coming in as a one and
I think the factors that got Brandon Ingram to Duke were a couple things. Duke won the national championship. Derek Fortin, one of the top point guards in ESPN 100 recruiting board, I think he's third on the list, recruited about 6 days before he made his announcement. And I think right after the national championship game, like a week or two, Duke in-house visited with Ingram twice in 5 days. They were heavily recruiting him. And Justice Winslow moving, that gives him his starting spot at the small forward. Those are the factors that I think Brandon Ingram got that made him go to Duke because, you know, he can be one and done with Duke. Carolina, you don't really see as many one and dones, but Duke is really a one and done school now with their top stars.
Not yet, you don't. But if you let Carolina win a national championship with 3 freshmen and see how many leave.
Yeah.
And they've had one and done guys. I mean, they haven't lived up to the hype as they had in college. And the last big one and done recruit that they were supposed to have, Harrison Barnes, who ended up staying 2 years.
Yeah, but here's where you
Last
run
one
into
and
the
done was what,
problem.
Marvin Williams?
No, one and done Brandon Wright.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Brandon Wright was
you
a
take
couple years
people
after him,
like
right?
North Carolina State and stuff like this. You come in with hatred because we despise y'all. I mean, I'm going to be honest. I'm telling you the truth. We despise Duke. We want to beat Duke so bad now because you took 3 guys and you won a national title. Okay, here you are again, jumping, grabbing one and done players, and I'm after that.
I think we all know how it was, too, and we're going to take a break. We all know how it was because when Michigan was going through this, we didn't want to see Michigan.
No,
win.
nobody wanted to. You're right.
When they started 5 of them, I don't think anybody wanted to see Michigan win a title, and they didn't at the time. But
it went to 2 title games.
Yep,
got awful close.
They did get very close, and they lost to Duke and Carolina.
Yeah.
How about that?
Who were veteran teams?
We'll take a timeout. We'll be back with more sports talk. Great debate. That was fun talk. Back in a moment.
It's time. Time to head to the Pine Mountain Golf Course. Pine Mountain invites all former Pine Grove Golf Course players to come on up. You'll find a challenging 18-hole par 68 course. Play all day on weekends for only $22. Seniors can play and ride on weekends for $19. And ask about the Clip and Save coupons available. Call 828-433-4950 for your tee time at the Pine Mountain Golf Course, located at the base of the beautiful South Mountain State Park.
Shelby.
Do you have a loved one whose limited mobility keeps them from doing things they want to do? If so, the Jazzy Power Chair at Medical Arts Pharmacy may be the solution. The Jazzy can give back independence. It's comfortable, easy to operate, and turns on a dime, making it easy to navigate through tight spaces. The staff at Medical Arts can tell you how qualified recipients can get the Jazzy for little or no cost with Medicare and insurance. Call 704-487-0557 or come by Medical Arts Pharmacy, 108 Grover Street, Shelby.
Check them out yourself at TRT Trailer Sales in Lincoln, 3302 Gastonia Highway. See the 7x16 enclosed trailers with ramp door value package for only $34.95. Easy Rider 8.5 by 24 foot enclosed car haulers are as low as $42.95. And TRT trailers come in standard stock with aluminum skinned exteriors. If you're in the market for any kind of trailer, see TRT Trailer Sales in Lincoln. Call toll-free 1-877-279-7465 or visit the website trttrailersales.com.
Community minded, just like you. Community minded, that's for sure it's true.
You care about the future of this community. You grew up here. You've raised a family here. Your life is here. So is ours.
Carolina Trust Bank. Member FDIC.
Community minded, just like you.
Atlanta Braves baseball is back, and this is your home for every inning of the 2015 season.
Swinging a long line drive, rising toward that wall in the left field corner. Gone! Andrelton Simmons has tied it with a two-run homer.
Atlanta Braves baseball right here at Big O Country. WHS Shelby, WLON Lincoln, WCSL Cherryville Gastonia. Online at kdcbroadcasting.com.
Get 0% financing at Hojo Power Sports and Equipment in Shelby. 0% financing for up to 54 months on a Bobcat, Walker, Ferris, or Snapper mower. See Hojo Power Sports and Equipment for all the details. And don't forget they have a complete service department too, servicing all makes and models. And pickup and delivery is available. See Hojo Power Sports and Equipment today. 110 Grigg Street off South Lafayette Street in Shelby. Open 8 to 5 Monday through Friday. 8 till 12 on Saturday. If bowling is your game, head to George Pappas Liberty Lanes in Gastonia. At Liberty Lanes in Gastonia, you'll find 32 lanes, 16 with bumpers for small children. Liberty Lanes is a smoke-free facility with a full snack bar and game room with pool tables plus a pro shop too, providing bowlers of all skill levels with a fun-filled environment for both league and open bowling. That's George Pappas Liberty Lanes, Highway 321 South in Gastonia.
Check out the great low rates available now at the Deerbrook Golf Course in Shelby. Play and ride 18 holes Monday through Friday for $30 or for only $26 after 2 p.m. Play and ride 18 holes weekends for $42 or $32 afternoon. Seniors 55 and older play and ride for $26 Monday through Friday at the Deerbrook Restaurant and Golf Club, Highway 180 north of Shelby, the friendly golf course, open to the public every day.
Terry's mad before we didn't say nothing to him.
Terry, he been petty. Oh,
Yeah.
man.
Brandon Ingram needs to call Terry and apologize to him for not going
I
to
was
NC
just getting ready to say,
State.
Terry's one of these will get on Twitter and throw some
Terry's the guy me and
expletives
Jason
out
talking
there.
about.
Petty, yeah. Terry's not going to the language that some folks I've seen that was ranting and raving on Twitter.
I
the
try
other
to
day.
correct my language.
Yeah. But he is being petty over there. Petty McGee over there. That's what's up.
Jason, we're going to get off this and move on. We'll talk about the NFL draft and teams that have helped themselves, and hopefully 32 of them have.
Yeah.
But But I don't know if Seattle or New England needs much help, but I think they picked up some nice picks
Well, this
as
is
well,
where
even though
Seattle-
Seattle only have one.
Mhm.
But, just real quickly, I want to go back to that thing. I hate to see the negativity toward Ingram, when he don't go to the team you want him to go to. And
I
people
got negativity.
Yeah, but you didn't direct a tweet at him.
I haven't sent a thing.
With expletives
With
in it.
Terry's real account.
But what would you say to him if you saw him in person right now?
I would ask him why he made that choice. I mean, I would have been honest. I would have said, "Why did you make the choice?"
And you treat him with respect.
I would.
And
I would.
But there's people out there that wouldn't.
I know I would.
And the sad thing about this is he's only 17, 18 years old. I mean, he's not even really a full adult yet, really. He's still in high school. He
Some
hasn't
people
graduated.
take it way too serious. Just that's. The
I take
bottom
it
line.
serious.
And also, we have no
Ain't
control
won a championship
over it.
in 32 years,
You know,
and he's
it's
ever
like me
heated
with
about
sports.
Brandon Ingram.
I love to see my teams win, but I have no control over it, so I'm not going to kill myself over it.
There you go.
Here's what Terry sends me this morning.
Gatorade,
He's over here drinking a big bottle.
Terry, I didn't know that flip phone sent pictures.
I'm sitting here beside Terry, and he texts me, and I thought, but it's a picture.
If those that watch the Chappelle show, Terry's acting like the guy from the Player Haters Ball. Just hate.
Two Dallas Cowboy fans in the house. What do you guys think of the Cowboys draft so far?
One of the best that Jerry's
Yes.
done.
An A plus.
A defensive
He
back
messed it up
out
yet.
of UConn.
Yes.
All right.
Jones.
And
Did you
then,
see what he
yeah.
did in the combine?
He's a long jump guy, wasn't he?
With the
The
standing
broad
broad
jump.
jump.
If he was in the
12 feet.
Olympics, he would have set the world record.
Yeah.
It was 12-3.
That was incredible.
12-3 standing still, David. How far do you think he could jump?
12.3. 12.3 inches. He's talking inches, right?
Yeah. He jumped.
We will have our contest. After
Oh,
the
Lord.
show, unless you want to do it
Oh,
on
Lord.
camera.
Three.
We'll have
Don't
a 5
forget we
minute.
white.
Smoke said he's out. White men can't jump.
I got no
forward, not
vertical. No vertical whatsoever.
No vertical.
We're not going vertical. We're talking.
Broad. How
Broad.
far you can jump.
We don't care if you don't get a half an inch off the ground, as long as you can go 12 feet forward like a line drive. And then they do take a chance on Randy Gregory, the troubled defensive lineman. Now, this guy, if he stays out of trouble and keeps
Breaking
his
news,
head,
Cowboys taking trouble.
and it's always
About
defensive
football.
linemen.
Should've
It
been.
is.
It's always
It
defensive
I
is.
just figured. I know the cheap joke. I just figured Denver or Seattle would take Randy Gregory. You know, I mean Denver already took Shane Ray.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
But I guarantee he was in the green room going, Colorado.
Yeah,
There is a little difference. Ray was caught with marijuana the week of
Yeah.
Of
like
the draft,
Monday
yeah.
or something,
Yeah.
but they say the evaluations of Gregory have been kind of.
Well, he told teams he hasn't
Maybe-
smoked since November, but he failed the test at the combine in February.
Now,
He must have
some
smoked a lot to
GMs
stay in the system.
Some GMs, Jason, question mental illness.
He said he's got problems. He said, I've got problems. So,
But
Now, another problem, we're talking about the guys that got caught with marijuana. The one that's really been hurt by the draft and personal issues is Lael Collins, the tackle out of LSU.
Yeah.
He had to leave
Still not
Chicago.
drafted, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because
You're
he's
exactly right.
currently being questioned by Louisiana State Police because of a murder of his
Mm-hmm.
ex-girlfriend who was pregnant. They haven't said he's a suspect, but
it's a Ray Caruth.
yeah, it's a pretty serious subject, and I think they said that he doesn't want to be drafted if he isn't taken yesterday.
Yeah, if he
Yeah,
didn't
you'll
get
make more
drafted
money.
yesterday,
And he was like top 10, top 15, top 12 pick guaranteed. So he's really taking a big hit.
I also heard that one of the big reasons, I heard a former general manager, I think it was Phil Savage, say one of the reasons some of these teams are staying clear of some of these players is they saw Bob Kraft have to be on a witness stand a few weeks ago, and they thought, I want no part of that. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
and now I'm already tired of hearing the word murder mentioned with NFL
Yeah.
or any other sport with that for that matter.
my thing is, I understand everybody deserves second chances, and you're supposed to get a second chance in life. That doesn't mean you necessarily get a second chance of doing what you were already doing. And at some point, you got to draw a line. I mean, this guy Gregory, if he ends up beating up his girlfriend or something, was it worth it? Or Hardy, if they do it again, was it worth it? The 20 tackles they got this year.
And speaking of Hardy, he put
millions of
some kind of
dollars.
joke on yesterday about 9/11.
I know.
Yeah,
so,
that was horrible.
I don't know what it was.
I mean,
but
at what point is it worth it? I mean, hey, this guy can tackle. Well, can the next guy that you can pay way less and not be an idiot to not tackle 99% as good as this guy. I mean, they got to start drawing the lines at some point. But if you're going to expect the Cowboys to start leading the way and drawing the lines, it ain't going to happen.
Here's my deal. Why do you say stuff? Why do you do stuff when you're making multi-millions of dollars?
Don't do anything.
Because you got
can't
that,
help
you got that
yourself.
invincibility feeling like, man, ain't nothing
My
gonna
goodness,
happen.
And they're
guys.
human. I mean, they're human, Terry. I mean, they're
Yeah.
gonna, they
Kevin,
wanna
if you
speak
and your
their mind.
dad, if you and your dad would come in here and say, Terry, here's $2 million, my mouth would say everything perfect. It would.
Terry,
I would not hate
Terry,
a soul.
If I gave you $2 million right now, how much more would you like Brandon Ingram?
He won't be worried about
He's my
me.
hero.
He's the best player I've ever seen.
Look.
Terry put a Duke shirt on.
No, look. It don't make a difference. If you were, let's say, a knucklehead before you got money,
gonna be a knucklehead
and
when you
you're
got
gonna still be a knucklehead when you get money.
Hey,
That is the
you put me
truth.
$2 million down, I'll get a shirt that says Carolina on the front, Yankees on the back.
I'll start pulling for Carolina.
Hey, we had this topic.
Money talk.
We had this topic. We had this topic on my podcast this week. What is your price? Can you be bought? That's what we
For
brought up.
changing teams?
But not just period. Can you be bought? No, anything.
Yes, I don't have to wait.
There's
Yeah.
they're
And then we
Pulling
sit
for-
here and
I'ma
fault
say
one and
this.
dones.
Yeah, we do.
Pulling for Duke
Can't
might
do
be
it.
the only thing that I don't have a price on. Just couldn't do it. I had a buddy, he's a Carolina fan, and in the brackets he picked Duke to win it. And I said,
Money.
I just think Duke's gonna win it, man.
Did he win money?
He's all about the money.
I usually pick who I don't want to win because I don't never get it right.
And
This
I
year I picked Duke
and
and won it.
I told him, I was like, you're a Carolina fan. I'm gonna have to take your card first of all. And he's like, well, if you go to pick, so you got to win the money. And I said, well,
Are you calling out Shandy?
yeah, I'm calling Shandy out. The thing about it is, you can pick them to get. I told him, I said, you can pick them to get to the championship game. You can't fill in the
just don't
box
pick
to
'em
win
to
it.
win.
I said, you can get all those 30. You can get those 32 points. Don't you try to get to 64 with Duke. So his card has been revoked until further notice.
But he had him playing Georgia State. And
He actually had him playing Wisconsin.
Did
Yeah,
he?
he had him. Yeah,
He
he
did
didn't
well.
have Kentucky in there.
You know the thing. Back to the draft. I think, a lot of teams did well. I think the teams that did the best is kind of up there are the Jets and the Jaguars. I mean, Jets, they got probably the best player in the draft in Leonard Williams.
did real well.
Yeah.
And they got Devin Smith, and the Jaguars got
And the Raiders did real well.
who did the Jaguars get again?
Jaguars took on the defensive tackle from
Yes,
Florida.
Dante Fowler, and they got T.J. Yeldon, the running back, and they got a offensive guard from South Carolina who's really good.
Fowler was basically the first pick in the draft in my mind because we all knew who was going first and second.
Yeah.
So the draft started with I kind of started with two because we were expecting a
Right.
trade, but we didn't get the trade that everybody thought we would see. The Titans called everybody's bluff. I mean,
They
they're
did.
sitting there,
They did.
trade.
Philadelphia was wanting to trade.
Right.
They were gonna make that
Philadelphia
trade.
was.
Wanted to make that
Jets
trade.
were. Cleveland was.
And then
They called their bluff.
gotta
and
have
said
a quarterback.
He's our starter.
You got to have a quarterback. They did the right thing. Declined Philadelphia. I love that. There's another haterade. But I say keep your man.
According to Ian Rappaport, now this has been disputed, but Ian Rappaport of NFL Network, this is what Philadelphia was offering to the Tennessee Titans: 2 first-round picks, 1 third-round pick, Fletcher Cox, the team's best defensive player, Brandon Boykin, the nickel corner, Sam Bradford, who they just acquired,
just a guy,
and Michael Kendricks, the starting linebacker.
Basically,
I'd have had a hard time not doing that.
Basically, Chip
for all
Kelly
those
was trying to
players.
out Dicka, Mike Dicka. He
Yeah.
was trying to do a
Dick
new.
traded all his picks.
Why would they not take that?
That's a lot of players.
Because you got to think, Mariota's a gamble anyway.
And you can
Why
win with
would you take Bradford?
You can win with Bradford.
Bradford's terrible.
Terry, I didn't say he's got to be. He's going to win the Super Bowl with him. They're
Look
not
at all
going to win the
these
Super Bowl
other
next
players you're
year. They
getting.
can trade for. They can
You're
trade
still
Bradford
getting
next
you're
year.
still getting the 20th pick in the
Yeah,
draft.
they're getting all that stuff.
Yeah, but you
Next
still
year's
got to have a
first-rounder.
quarterback. You're never going
They're
to
not
get
gonna
a
have one this
But
quarterback.
they
year.
can still have Mettenberger. I mean, I thought Wilson
Yeah,
liked
Mettenberger.
Zach
Okay.
Mettenberger. They claimed before they drafted Mariota, but teams blowing it.
You can't say Mariota's going to be a good. You don't
No,
know.
but he's the
Especially-
best bet for them now.
But he's going to assist. He's going to go under center. He's never played under center.
But Terry, yeah, and the point is that you're getting like 5 other players and Bradford who could do probably just as good as Mariota will this year. They'll win 5 games, no matter who you put in there.
You got 3 defensive starters.
Terry, I'll go in there and win 5 games for him.
I'm gonna tell
it
you
doesn't
what.
matter who you put in there.
Here's my deal: the 2 best picks in this NFL draft, St. Louis taking Gurley. I think that was one of the top picks,
I
and
think
San
he's a game
Diego moving up to get Gordon. I think those two
Well, they
were the
both-
two
well,
best picks.
St.
But
Louis
now,
gonna need a
They're already going to pretty good teams.
And
too.
now,
the running back.
and now
Running
St.
backs
Louis
going
they
pretty
can
good
use
teams.
Zach Stacy as a trade
Yes, they
trade
can.
bait.
Yeah,
And he's a
because
really
he's
good
already
student.
said, I want
yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Trey Mason tweeted, "They don't believe in me."
Yeah.
Or something
Yeah,
like
because
that.
they took him last
I
year.
need
like
to go.
Third or
It's
fourth
not
round.
that, guys. Maybe this guy's just a beast.
There's just
However-
there's not many girlies around.
However,
Right.
how many
Especially these
teams
days.
have to have a 2 or 3 running
you
back
have
system?
to,
So
you
I mean,
have to.
I wouldn't get mad. I mean, I thought.
But you're right. They'll probably trade one.
Yeah,
Stacey,
They'll trade
I think-
Because
Stacey.
you can use a no name as your third. Their three guys.
Because they can have like what Carolina had a couple of years ago with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart, and kind of protect Gurley because he's already got an ACL injury, keep him safe from getting hurt, not have as many carries, and prolong both of those guys' careers. So I think it's a really smart move.
But they can also look at Georgia, and Georgia was going to have that tandem
Nick
with
Chubb.
Gurley, with Nurley. Well, it
Gurley.
wasn't Chubb at the time. It was
Chubb-
Keith Marshall.
Chubb,
It was Keith Marshall, also
Yeah.
out of North
Yeah.
Carolina, but who wound up being the stud that got 4 out of every 5 carries.
Todd Gurley.
So that could be
well,
what we look
here's
at
my
in
deal
NFL.
with Philadelphia. You're stuck with Bradford. You're gonna have to win with Bradford. You will finish third in the
I love
NFC.
Chip
Terry,
Kelly.
they're not stuck with Bradford.
You're gonna finish third.
Terry, they're
I
not
love
stuck
Chip
with
Kelly. I
Bradford.
like him.
They
No,
just
I was being sarcastic as a
I like
Cowboys
him.
fan. I love him
Okay.
as a Cowboys fan.
Terry,
I
they're
like
not stuck
Kelly.
with Bradford. You know why? Because they signed teasers. You know, they got teasers.
But here's the problem. though.
Tebow's going to win the division this year.
It all comes down to Bradford didn't sign with NC State.
Yeah, that's
Is
right.
that what it is?
We never
What it
need.
He did not go.
But you know the NFL draft,
Probably.
when they come out with how did teams do, every team's got a thumb up
is?
for what they picked.
Well, how did the Panthers get a thumb up then?
They did. Every team in there had
They
thumbs
may have had
up
the
for what
biggest
they got.
stretch in round 1.
And 2, they picked 2 players, and neither one of them know what position they
Tell
play.
me
Well-
again who they picked in round 2. I
don't know.
Devin Funches, a wide receiver
Funches.
from
Yeah.
Michigan.
Not him. I'm talking about the other kid.
Shaq Thompson, linebacker
There's
slash
another one.
safety
That's
slash
round
running
one.
back
Round
slash.
one, but
You
yeah,
get the point. He's
as
he
Johnny
plays
said last
everything.
night, you don't even know what position he
No,
wants
the
to
second
play.
guy was a H-back tight end or something.
That's Devin Funches. He was a tight end the first 2 years at Michigan, and then he moved to wide
Okay.
receiver.
Yeah.
He's a big guy. He's 6'4". Can play a little bit of slot. The only knock against him, he's got a little bit of stone hands, and his 40 time at the combine was a little.
He's got stone hands. He's six, the article I read yesterday said he was 6'5", so they had Benjamin and him at 6'5". They're trying to get as big a people they can so Cam can hit him because he can get good luck in that. But the other, like I said, Shaq Thompson doesn't know what position he's going to play.
He's probably going to replace Thomas Davis because Thomas Davis, he has
And that's
3
what-
ACL injuries. He's 32 years old, and basically a lot of people are saying he's a carbon cutout of what Thomas Davis was 10 years ago.
And that's what's funny is in the draft. So Shaq Thompson gets announced, right? They say he could be a player either outside linebacker or safety. Well, if he's playing outside linebacker, they let Thomas Davis announce the pick.
Yeah, man.
So Thomas Davis is with the 25th pick of the draft, my replacement. The guy I'm getting cut for in 6 months for.
Hey,
I wonder what he's thinking.
Remember
Don't you?
years ago when the Panthers drafted Dwayne Jarrett and Keyshawn Johnson's working the draft. You know, he's
Oh,
still playing for the
gosh.
Panthers. Yeah, I'm gonna be there to tutor him and this and that, and he got cut. Keyshawn got cut.
Cut. Yeah,
And,
so Thomas
well,
may have announced
this
his-
happened, a couple years ago. People were questioning the Luke Kuechly pick, and next thing you know, later in that year, middle of the season, they let go of John Beeson due to another injury. And Kuechly, I think he's done all right.
Evan, Shaq Thompson is not Luke Kuechly. So
I
let's
know,
just stop
I know.
there.
I know
right
he's
there.
not a Luke Kuechly.
Speaking of that, he played Major League Baseball or minors.
0 for 39.
0 for 39, 37 strikeouts.
Hey, at least he knew. He realized. Hey, he knew.
Chose the right sport then.
Look, he knew football was gonna be the way he would make his career.
Everybody in this building would have done better than that, right? Y'all don't
You
think
hope.
y'all would get one ball in play?
No, not in
37
minor league
strikeouts?
baseball.
Shoot. Well,
Once-
I would. I don't know about you, Evan, but I'd have put one in play.
Once the pitches
Sure,
got
you
to
could've
60
bunted
something
one,
miles
couldn't
an
you?
hour.
Well, I'm telling you what, I'm swinging at all the 3 pitches he throws, so I'm going to hit one
I mean,
of them.
are you going to strike out 37 out of 39
I'm not going to strike
times?
out that many times.
No, you lay a butt down.
I'm gonna go through a couple teams here. You guys just tell me, and I'm looking to see what teams that in my mind stand out because Evan mentioned the Jets a while ago. Leonard Williams, who a lot of people thought may be the best overall player
I
in the
think he
draft.
is. He's getting
and
compared.
definitely the best defensive player.
Yeah.
They add him at defensive end. They also add Devin Smith in the second round, Ohio State wide receiver.
That's like
And
getting
there were
some
some good
weapons
wide
for them.
receivers in
Good.
this draft. But if you watched any of the first ever NCAA football playoffs, nobody stood out more than this guy.
Ohio State's the first defending national champion and not to have a first
To
round
not have a
draft pick.
first rounder. How
that
about
was
that?
amazing.
How about the University of Washington?
They had
A
three.
lot of
Very
players.
well.
3. on the first night.
Steve Sarkisian, his coaching
Duke
staff, when
had-
he was at USC, he had basically 5 players taken in the first day of the draft between USC and Washington.
Your Dallas Cowboys, Byron Jones, cornerback out of Connecticut,
Great
Randy Gregory, linebacker out of Nebraska, and they did get Chaz.
Yeah, but I mean,
Chaz Green.
Jones, they can move him at corner. If they don't need him
I hope
there,
he
they
plays
can run him
safety.
safety.
I hope he
yeah.
plays safety.
So,
well, you've got to have a safety. These teams with good defenses usually have a stud safety, somebody that can make plays.
Another
And
Darren Woodson
We
or
hadn't had
somebody,
one since
yeah.
Darren Woodson.
Exactly.
That's just flat out. I mean, that tells you how long it's been since we've had a safety back there. Everybody back there's been. It seems like they've had matador capes at Terry, just letting the receivers run by them.
I was a little surprised on draft night that where did the Giants pick? 9th, right before.
took-
Yeah, they took
I thought the Giants might
Eric
be the
Flowers.
one that took Gurley. I thought
Well,
they may actually be the team to
the-
take Gurley, but
the
I know they
guy-
needed offensive linemen more, and I want to hit the Giants a minute. Do you think the Giants? I know it's a rival of all three of you guys, okay? Because you're all three, two Cowboy and Redskin. But do you like what the Giants did to trade up to get Landon Collins, who a lot of people thought he was the best safety out of Alabama? Was that a smart move by them to trade up to get him? Because the
Well,
Giants don't usually trade up.
I'm going to say, didn't they let Antrell Rowe go this season? I think he signed with Chicago. So there's
I think
they
you're
had
right.
an opening in there. And the name Landon Collins, you might remember him from a few years ago at the Under Armour game. Remember, he was the one that was he chose Alabama, but his mama was like, no, he's going to LSU. That's that guy.
Is that right?
That's the guy, yeah. His mama was on, and she was mad because he chose Alabama
no, he
but LSU.
didn't.
Yeah.
She lost, didn't she?
Yeah.
And the
I bet
Giants
she happy
also
now,
get-
man.
Happy now, yeah.
Yeah,
Good
baby.
choice, son.
Yeah, baby.
The Giants also get the best name in the draft, and the defensive end out of UCLA.
Yeah, that's
go ahead, Smoke.
Obikawa? I don't know. Good
think
luck
it's
to the Giants PR department
Odigizua.
of having to say that name.
Odigizua, I think, and his first name is actually just as long, but they shorten it and
Yeah,
put Owa.
Yeah.
OWA. Thank goodness that they do that.
Yeah, Giants have had some weird names in the past with guys like OCU Minora and all them.
Put that name on the back of a shirt. You have to buy a shirt bigger. All right, Jason. Redskins get Brandon Scherf, offensive
Good
tackle
pick.
out of Iowa.
Giants were aiming at him. I
Probably
mean,
a 10-year player.
yeah.
You need somebody to stand in front of
We
him.
need an offensive line, but I was wanting Leonard Williams. Williams was available on the board at that time. I was like, go get Leonard Williams. He's the best player out there. Get him. But, hey, we took offensive line. That's fine. We
The
need
best
offensive
offensive
line.
lineman in the draft as well.
Most likely. Preston Smith, defensive end out of Mississippi State with their second pick.
I don't know much about him, but, I mean, Mississippi State had a good season
Yeah,
this past
they
year.
did.
So.
And I'm disappointed, Jason. They take Duke shooting guard Matt Jones. Actually, running back Matt Jones out of Florida. So
Really? Wow. Florida running back.
I played a lot of intramurals and was good friends with Matt Jones at Appalachian. You know who I'm talking about? Bobby Jones' son.
Okay.
From
Okay.
they played at Carolina.
I would say probably a lot of Matt Joneses out there.
He played on the basketball team. He was actually really, really good. I thought he could have played at even better school than that, but he's good kid too.
NFC East, I think everybody did well as Dallas, Washington, and the Giants, and then we all held Chip Kelly from doing what he thought he was going to do. So I think we're still all even in that conference.
Also liked what the Houston Texans did. They get probably the best defensive back, Kevin Johnson from Wake Forest. They get I think they got a linebacker from Mississippi State I forget somewhere, but
who's their quarterback?
Who did you mention again? I didn't.
Texans.
And in the third round they got Jalen Strong, who somehow fell to the third round.
It's not top 15. Is it?
Smoke, who's their quarterback?
Brian Hoyer.
All right, so I know that. So
But they keep thinking defense there. I mean,
Yeah.
every time they make a pick, their defense keeps getting stronger.
And they got a good wide receiver core, even though they lost Andre Johnson.
Well, I
They
mean,
got a good
what are they
young
going
wide
to do with
receiver
Brian
with,
Hoyer quarterback? Who
with
cares
DeAndre
who plays
Not
Hopkins.
score points. They better hope their defense is strong.
They better.
That's what I'm saying.
just to stay in the NFC East for a minute, and then
Be
we're
awful.
going to take a break here in a minute as well. But the Eagles, Terry mentioned the Eagles. They do get a very fast wide receiver that will fit nicely into Kelly's system, probably, and Nelson Aguilar.
And they got Miles
Yeah.
Austin
Southern Cal.
too. I mean,
Well,
they got
I think now
so-
this is
Eric Rowe, cornerback Utah, and Jordan Hicks, linebacker Texas, was the Eagles' first three picks. I think the Eagles are better off for that trade not happening.
the Chip Kelly. If he don't get the trade, he's going to draft from the Pac-12. I think now I've seen that's his 20th Pac-12 player he's drafted between Nelson Aguilar
they'll get more impact players by that trade not
Yeah,
happening.
yeah.
Than they would have if
He's
that
gonna be
trade.
fired
If
soon.
that
He
trade
keeps
hadn't
forgetting
went-
this is the
He's gonna be
NFL. This
fired
ain't the
soon.
Pac-12.
There's already rumors that he tried to trade himself to Tennessee since they wouldn't trade Mariota.
I also like this draft right here, and it's
I'm serious.
this is for a Panthers rival. The Atlanta Falcons, I thought, did well. Vic Beasley out of Clemson, linebacker. Jalen Collins, cornerback out of LSU. You can hardly ever go wrong if you take a defensive player from LSU. And also, they got the running back that they wanted, a speedster at running back to play
Tevin
on that
Coleman,
turf.
yeah,
Tevin
he's really
Coleman out of
good.
Indiana.
What record wins the NFC South this year?
It'll change this
10
year.
and 6.
Yeah.
10, 6, 11, 5, something like that.
Who finished last?
Who's getting to 10?
That's what I was
Tampa?
going to say. That's what I was going to say.
Who's
Who
getting
will
to
it be?
10?
I think you can take out Tampa. I think
they
they're going to
still
do
finish
better.
last.
I think New Orleans is going to bounce back.
I picked New Orleans to win it last year, and they
I
didn't.
did
do
too.
it.
Everything.
I
A lot of
did
people
too.
did.
Awful.
Everything. I think
Speaking
a lot
of
of
New
people have.
Orleans, they drafted the quarterback in the third round,
they
Garrett
did.
Grayson
Yeah.
from Colorado
So if
State.
you're Drew Brees,
Yeah, and he's pretty good.
you trade Jimmy Graham and you draft a quarterback in the third round.
Sending a signal.
Well, look, Brees about to be 36 years old.
That's
So,
true
hey,
too.
hey,
But he
gotta
still
go
he threw 5,000 yards
gotta
2
get
years
this
ago.
play.
too.
Hey, if New Orleans is thinking like Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, look, even we got sit him for a little bit, maybe he'll learn.
Ask Tim Duncan. He's got a lot of years left.
Yeah.
We'll take a timeout. Back with more in a moment.
Summertime fun starts in your own backyard with a call to Gage Pool and Spa in Gastonia. And right now you can get a low 3.74% financing with approved credit on your new pool. Offer good on both above ground and in-ground pools. Low 3.74% financing with approved credit. See Gage Pool and Spa for all the details. That's Gage Pool and Spa, 3025 Union Road, Gastonia in the Food Lion Plaza at Robinwood Crossing. Open 7 days a week.
We're community-minded. We believe in what we do. We love this town. We live in just like you.
We're a community bank. That's why we always try to approach things from a community-minded point of view. When something is in the best interest of the communities we serve, it's good for us as well. We're community-minded, just like you.
Carolina Trust Bank. Member FDIC. Community minded just like you.
We're community-minded. Just like you.
I'm Calvin Hastings, and I want to invite you to join me this Saturday, May 2nd, for the big May celebration event at Campers Inn in Kings Mountain. Campers Inn is the winner of the Top 5 Blue Ribbon Dealer Award. It's basically the who's who of the best RV dealers in the United States and Canada. The award is based on employee relations, technician training, charitable giving, and a high priority on customer care. Come to Campers Inn and see why. We'll be there with free hot dogs, chips, and soft drinks. Plus, register to win some great prizes, including Hickory Crawdad baseball tickets, a $25 gift card to Newt's, Cleveland County Fairground Speedway racing tickets, free rounds of golf for the Crowders Mountain Golf Course, What's Up Shopper t-shirts, and special door prizes from Campers Inn. Again, we'll be there this Saturday, 10 to 2. Campers Inn, Highway 161 south at I-85 in Kings Mountain. Once again, the winner of the Top 5 Blue Ribbon Dealer Award. Come see us this Saturday at Campers Inn of Kings Mountain.
As the spring season rolls in, remember Shelby Hardware for all the rental equipment you need to get those lawns and gardens in shape. Shelby Hardware's rental equipment includes blowers, string trimmers, vacuums, lawnmowers, aerators, spikers, spreaders, edgers, tillers, and ladders. And Shelby Hardware's small engine repair shop can service and repair all your lawn and garden equipment. Shelby Hardware, serving Cleveland County since 1979, located at 506 South Lafayette Street, Shelby.
Before you plan your vacation, plan a visit to Country Camping Corner on Oak Grove Road between Shelby and Kings Mountain. Whether you're heading to the beach or to the mountains, Country Camping Corner has the right recreational vehicle for you. Campers, pop-ups, fifth wheels, all you need for your next vacation experience. Country Camping Corner at the Oak Grove Road Highway 74 bypass intersection between Shelby and Kings Mountain. Open Tuesday through Friday, 8:30 to 5:30. Saturdays, 8:30 to 4. That's Country Camping Corner, Oak Grove Road, Kings Mountain.
Hello, this is Milton Baker.
And I'm Sandy Alexander.
You're invited to join us for the community profile on Big O Country.
We talk to community leaders. We talk about events coming up.
and we'll talk to your friends and neighbors who make or do interesting things.
The show airs at 10:08 Monday through Wednesday. We would love to hear from you.
Do you know a person or have a topic in mind for the community profile? Let us know.
And thanks for listening to Big O Country and the Community Profile.
All right, over here with it. Easy there. Great.
Rates are low today. The time is right to improve your home. We have home improvement loans and we're lending right now. Join your neighbors and friends and people all over our local communities who are improving the quality of their lives by improving the quality of their homes. We're an equal housing lender.
Carolina Trust Bank, member FDIC. Community minded just like you.
Stefan and
You gonna let it all hang out, fat bottom girls, you make the rockin' world go round.
And welcome back to Sports Talk. Glad to have you with us here to wrap things up. Been discussing the draft. Terry's solving the world's problems as well.
I can fix them.
As we go
Kevin,
along.
you need my help.
I was thinking about something. If there's anything I need your help with.
Just real quickly to wrap up the draft, any surprises to you guys by anybody, whether it be
No
good, bad?
the trades. It was-
Yeah,
But they were
usually
weak.
there's 5-10 trades.
They were very weak. We didn't have
Nothing.
one till 49ers
yeah.
moved up 2 spots or gave up 2 spots.
Yeah, they gave up 2 spots for the Chargers to get
Yeah.
Melvin Gordon. Yeah, that's the first
And
one.
that's a big one because that's the way you keep Phillip Rivers happy because they've not been anything since Tomlinson left. So you got to get him somebody in the backfield.
Well,
He
not
cannot
since
do it by
Thompson,
himself.
no, since Darren Sproles left too.
You
Remember,
know, I mean, you got to have somebody for him.
All the pre-draft stuff though have built up trades.
Yeah.
We're going to see huge
I
trades.
thought
for the
Rivers was
second
going to end up in
pick.
Tennessee.
and it just
You want to keep Phillip Rivers happy?
Well-
Don't move to L.A.
That's true.
It
I
kind of
think-
fell flat, didn't it?
I think one thing that's kind of surprising is, and in a good way for the team, is the Browns not really trading, and they're getting big hosses down low on
Cleveland.
both sides.
Cleveland's terrible.
But they're Cleveland.
Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
Cleveland.
they haven't won
I think
anything
that'll
since
help them, though.
'64, back when nobody remembered.
Evan,
what
I'm going to
football
make
was.
you a list of teams you're not allowed to talk about. And the Texans and the Browns are 2 of
We'll have
them.
to get George in here to analyze Cleveland for you.
Yeah.
He's a Cleveland fan. He'll straighten you out. He'll show you why they've been so unsuccessful.
Hey, Terry, we might end up, you might end up with Manziel once the Cowboys
No.
once they cut him.
God, no.
Terry football.
Cash out.
Yeah.
Guys, I want to mention a couple things. And I
I'll
want
buy
you-
Terry
I
one of
I
those
want
shirts if they get him.
You guys to comment on this. We're going to shift gears now. Look at the NBA playoffs. When
Yeah.
I tell you a deciding game in the playoffs, 120-66. What's the first thing comes to your mind? I mean, 120-66.
Didn't that happen last year too? Somebody else did that.
And hey, last night not much
was
better. 111-87. The Hawks.
I don't get it.
The glass slipper fell off of Cinderella. That's
Was
what
that game last night not in Brooklyn?
Yeah, it was in Brooklyn.
Yeah, it was.
They got beat at home that bad. Yeah.
And
Darren Williams went back to being Darren
So
Williams.
did the Bucks. Though.
Did you see the
and
guy
Bucks
that
was at home too?
Did you see the guy that bet on Darren Williams scoring 30 and ate a house key?
No.
He made a bet online that if Darren Williams scores 30 points, he would eat his own house key. And that was the night he scored 30.
What was that to signify?
I don't
Eating
know.
a house key.
They were arguing about it, and so he poured ketchup on the house key and swallowed it. But it was one of those just funny things about how Darren Williams
got
never
wind of the
scores,
bet.
and he made a bet, and Williams dropped 30.
Darren Williams, man, well, that was just one game in that series, but leading up in games 1 through 3, he had a combined 18 points.
He was bad.
He was averaging 6 points a game.
Well, they hammer him. Those analysts hammer him as
He
being.
fell off, man.
yeah.
He hit 30 and he's falling off.
I never liked him. I always thought he was kind of like a ball hog point guard. I mean, Lawson did pretty good against him in the championship game. I've always liked Lawson too.
No, that was Felton.
Or Felton.
Yeah, it was
Felton,
Felton,
beat him, and I always thought he was underrated when Felton beat him.
Guys, obviously some of these series have not been very competitive. Some of them look like they were getting out of hand, and all of a sudden they became a
first round.
series because the Bucks actually made a run at the Bulls. I thought they played real well and looked like they might have a bright future.
Time caught up with them, man.
But
I think the Bulls finally woke up saying, hey, we got to finish this off
yeah,
now.
let's not go 7.
This second round's about to be really, really good.
Yes, I think the second round will make up for all the blowouts in the
I
first
sent
round.
George a text after Boston went down.
Man, y'all, Austin, y'all some dirty. Y'all dirty.
What?
Y'all dirty, man. That
Whatever whatever it takes to win.
Yeah.
But it didn't work.
I'm surprised. I don't know. I know people went out. They went after Jay Crowder. J.R. Smith got 2-game suspension for his elbow to the face on Jay Crowder. But I know why they went after him and not Kelly Olynyk, because Crowder was the one that was starting it, and he was roughing up LeBron. You don't mess with the money. You don't mess up the church's money, and the church's money can't be messed with.
How many NC State players does the Celtics have?
I know they have a Carolina player in Tyler Zeller.
Yep.
Well, I think the reason behind this,
Terry
I think the
Zeller
reasoning
jersey.
behind Crowder and all them guys making doing that, they're trying to make a name for themselves. It's that they're not really known that well because no one's really been watching the Celtics since the Big Three left. They want to make themselves say, "Hey, we're here to stay in this league." It's kind of like what Josh McRoberts did last year with LeBron James, and hey, the big guy on the throne. We want to make a name against him. That's what I think they were doing, So they were roughing them up, and they didn't want to go down without a fight. And usually Brad Stevens coached teams. Usually they like to play like that. Like he did that at Butler as well, especially going against teams that they were outmatched in talent.
Terry, y'all get some basketball players on y'all's football team. Y'all be pretty good up there in Boston.
Kind of reminds you of Kansas City, don't
I
it?
actually think the Celtics made, even though they were swept, they were very competitive in all the games. I thought
Yes,
the
they
Bucks
were.
were competitive in their series, but nothing, guys, has lived up to first-round Clippers Spurs.
Yeah,
I mean,
this
this has
game
been a
seven.
phenomenal series, and
Austin Rivers showed up one game. He dropped 20 points.
But are we going to see a 20-point spread tonight? It's a deciding game. We're going to follow the trend.
No, it'll be close. These two teams.
I hope so.
These two teams been
Well,
close.
what was it? Game 5 that ended basically on the goaltending call, offensive goaltending by DeAndre Jordan. That's what ended that game, and almost had a goaltending.
Yeah, had offensive goaltender the other night too.
Yep.
Kind of freakish, isn't it?
Spurs. I just don't see how they can get beat with their depth, and I don't against this team. But I mean,
This thing's
Blake,
even,
Blake
you know.
and
I
Paul
mean,
have been playing so good that they, like I said, they've been so hot. It's just been tough.
Yeah.
But Ginobili's been playing awful.
But Parker's battling the Achilles
Parker's
injury.
hurt. Kawhi looks like he's
Kawhi,
off.
well, Kawhi had that one game. He dropped 32.
J.J. Redick showed up the other night.
The
helped 'em
Spurs are hard to beat when it's on the line.
Well, that's
I
yeah.
mean, they are just hard to beat when the whole series
And
is
Danny
on the
Green
line.
can't throw it in the ocean right
But
now.
you know what's catching up to the Spurs? They're trying to make 3 straight finals.
Yeah.
Last year's first time they went to back-to-back finals. So playing all these games are starting to catch
And
up
they
to
still
you.
never won back-to-back
And
championship.
People are saying that about the Heat last year, but the difference between the Heat doing 4 straight finals in their case and the Spurs are doing 3 straight finals. Look at the age difference between the Heat and the Spurs. A big age difference. And
The smoke, not necessarily. If you go back and look at that roster, LeBron
He was
one,
older.
I mean, Norris Cole was probably the youngest player on that Heat roster, and that was about it.
yeah, about a 6-year difference, and Tim Duncan has been playing in the postseason every year of his career. He
Is
hasn't
that game tonight? It is.
Yes.
tonight.
Yes,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
8 o'clock.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
it is.
Ginobili.
I still think if the Clippers lose this series, they can look back at Game 3. And
They
how
need to blow
poorly
that
they
team
played.
up if they
how
lose
poorly
it.
they played in Game 3, and they lost to the Spurs in LA by
Pretty big.
27.
They don't make it past the next round. Is this going to be the roast of Chris Paul because he's never gotten to
I
the
know.
conference
I'm
finals.
with you. Something will
Oklahoma
happen.
City hiring Billy Donovan. I know we got to go out there. But Oklahoma City hiring Billy Donovan. What y'all think about that?
Big pick. I like it.
Yep.
If they can find a point guard,
Oh, they got Rusty. They
he's
got
a
Rusty.
shooting guard.
They
They
got
need
Rusty and Kate.
they need a point guard.
Then when Billy Donovan had the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air offense like Scott Brooks ran, just get the
I
ball to
know.
Rusty and KD.
It's
Let's
gonna be
see-
park ball.
Well,
Send Rondo down there.
Beautiful outside today. Get out there and enjoy it. But guess what? Biggest sports day.
Campers in. Dad's at Campers
in Kings Mountain.
Go by
Campers
and
in
see
Kings
Dad's
Mountain today. Calvin and did Perk go with him over there today?
Yes.
So Calvin and Perk over at Campers in Kings Mountain. Check it out. Biggest sports day maybe in Smoke's lifetime. He's the youngest, so we'll use him.
Yes.
We'll see you next week on Sports Talk. Thanks for tuning in.
Finish your way.